Deputy Director Wendy Smith has been serving as interim port director. Mason County Commissioner Randy Netherland this week proposed limiting the number of times county commissioners can phone in to meetings, a move that fellow Commissioner Tim Sheldon says is aimed at him. Sheldon has served as county commissioner for 12 years and in the state Senate since 1997. Netherland admits his proposal was in part brought forth because Sheldon regularly calls in when the state legislature is in session in Olympia or for other reasons. By phoning into a meeting, commissioners can still vote on county business proposals and discuss issues via speakerphone. Commissioner Terry Jeffries also voiced her opposition to a commissioner regularly calling into a meeting. The proposed policy would also require at least 2 commissioners attend a meeting, which is required under the state open meetings law for a quorum to take any action. It would also require 14 days notice for any out-of-town meetings. With spring's arrival, the Washington State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists that studded tires must be removed by the last day in March. Under state law, driving with studded tires after tomorrow, March 31st, is a traffic infraction that could result in a $124 ticket from law enforcement. WSDOT will not be extending the studded tire deadline this year, but crews will continue to monitor roads, passes, and forecasts and work to clear any late season snow or ice. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
At Mason PUD3, we know that time changes all things, like phone numbers, mailing addresses, and email addresses, even names. PUD3 needs your correct account information for emergency contacts and online security. To make this fun, all PUD3 customers who update or confirm their account information by April 27th will have their names placed into a drawing for a free iPad mini. Go to masonpud3.org/account to learn more.
Now, from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Jeff Slakey.
Well, thank you. Good morning. 6:08 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Foss jumped out to an early lead on the pitch, but the boys in red and white came fighting back behind 2 goals from junior midfielder Santi Lopez. The High Climbers took down Foss 3-1. Shelton looks to keep the momentum rolling when they host Wilson tomorrow. Make sure to check out the website this afternoon, iFIBER1Newsradio.com, as Sports Director Sean Wells will have full video highlights from the big win, including an interview with Shelton head coach Jason Smith. Today, Sean's going to be covering the Shelton softball game versus Capital, and tomorrow he'll be covering the soccer game versus Wilson. Yan Gomes hit his 5th spring homer and drove in 3 runs, leading the Cleveland Indians to a 4-1 victory over the Seattle Mariners last night. Our next Mariners game is today on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Mariners take on the Cleveland Indians pregame at 5:55. Regular season starts Monday with an afternoon game against Texas right here on AM 1030 and FM 103.3. 53 sled dogs and 4 mushers who completed in the Iditarod in Alaska are now camping on Nisqually tribal land here in the great state of Washington. Reports are Norwegian musher Tore Abriksen and said their original plan to fly home from Anchorage after the Iditarod Trail sled dog race fell apart because a cargo plane wasn't available. Albringston says instead the mushers crated the 4 dogs sled teams and traveled to Seattle in a U-Haul. That must be a fun one. Stopping in Nisqually. Thurston County deputies said they've been getting a lot of calls about the dogs. A Nisqually tribal employee invited the Alaskan Huskies and people to camp on their land while they wait for a flight to Europe on Wednesday. Officials say the mushers also got showers and meals at the casino. 6:11 now at iFIBER1Newsradio.com. Other sports going on today. As I mentioned, Capital and Shelton, the baseball team is going to be playing out in Lacey at the RAC, JV Baseball Capital as well, and then Fast Pitch at MCRA, and Sean Wells will be covering that game. Time now to take a look at the South Sounds forecast. Here's Carol Gardner.
Good morning. It's going to be another gorgeous day. Cool to start, but sunshine and warm weather overall. We're going to reach a mid-60s today, and we'll be near the 70s tomorrow. Right now, it's 37.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 6:12 here at iFIBER1Newsradio.com. Jeff Slakey and Carol Gardner. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
You are delivering on these weather forecasts. My goodness, it was beautiful yesterday.
It was. It was really nice.
So, high today, 70. Tonight is the public hearing on the Shelton C Street landfill. It's from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Mason County PUD3 building out there on Johns Prairie Road. A reminder for folks to come on in. You can make verbal or written comments on this C Street landfill, and it is tonight from 5:30 to 8:30. So the session ended yesterday, as we heard from 35th District Representative Dan Griffey. Today, Drew McEwen comes on to, again, not necessarily the recap, because we want to do a kind of a more detailed one than that, but Drew will be on this morning. Transit talk as well. Port of call coming up. And the legislature okays the vaping regulations that we talked about yesterday.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
I'm Ari Wolf with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reports that Carlos Dansby will sign with the Bengals after the former Cardinal and Dolphins standout visit with the team last week. Dansby finished with 108 combined tackles and 3 interceptions last season. Rappaport also reporting that Anquan Bolden visited with the Redskins on Tuesday per a source. Bolden put up 789 yards on 69 catches with 4 touchdowns in 14 games in 2015. Trent Richardson worked out for the Ravens recently, and according to head coach John Harbaugh, there is a deal in place for Richardson to join the Ravens once he reaches a physical benchmark. And Wednesday, be sure to check out Mock Draft Live. Each week, our experts bring you their latest mock draft and tell you where this year's class will land. Mock Draft Live premieres Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
The newest breakthrough in laminate flooring? Faster and easier laminate flooring. With durable TrafficMaster Saratoga Hickory laminate at the Home Depot. Just 99 cents a square foot. It installs in a snap. No more glue. No more mess. TrafficMaster is tough. Really tough. Installing it isn't. Get it for just 99 cents a square foot at the Home Depot. More saving. More doing. U.S. only.
This morning, Sandra Sneed wrote a joyful status. This miss is a soon-to-be Mrs. Over 300 friends liked her engagement post, and it got 76 comments. Sandra, you're one popular gal. Geico also has a comment on your status. Did you know you could save hundreds of dollars on your car insurance in just 15 minutes by switching to Geico? Just the way we're trying to help cushion a nice little nest egg for the future misses. Hashtag getting hitched. Hashtag savings.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner. Great show for you today with Drew McEwen, Port of Call, Transit Talk, all coming up here. Governor is calling the supplemental budget passed by the legislature a good compromise. In a written statement released last night, Inslee said supplemental budgets are intended to make modest adjustments and updates to the two-year budget, and that's exactly what legislators accomplished. Inslee said there is more work to do next year on efforts to aid a shortage of public school teachers and mental health education. So they approved the supplemental operating capital budgets and took the historic action of overriding all of 27 of Governor Inslee's vetoes, and then they got out of there. John Satgast reports from Olympia.
The House is adjourned, sine die.
It took 60 days of the regular session and 19 days of a special session, but lawmakers have finally finished their business by passing a supplemental operating budget that increases spending by $191 million.
This bill before us takes the underlying budget and makes it just a little better.
That's Representative Bruce Chandler, House Republican budget negotiator. He says the compromise agreement makes minor adjustments to the existing two-year budget. It also takes care of emergencies.
We have a significant teacher shortage.
Representative Chad Mungendonz, ranking Republican on the House Education Committee.
This budget includes some substantial investments, $5.3 million to attract and retain quality teachers to where they're needed the most.
There's additional need grant money for college students, funding for mental health programs, and $190 million for wildfire suppression. But Spokane Representative Kevin Parker says taxpayers are also winners because Republicans held firm.
About $120 million of taxes were proposed. We successfully said no to that.
Finally, lawmakers historically overrode Governor Inslee's vetoes, all 27 of them, before ending the session and heading back home. John Satgast, Olympia.
Additionally, following the passage of that supplemental operating budget, another lawmaker, Senate Democratic leader Sharon Nelson of Maury Island, shared her thoughts on the budget deal.
This is a reasonable supplemental budget. There is additional funding for mental health, for addressing the crisis at Western State Hospital, but regretfully, it leaves a lot behind. We need further investments in K-12 education. This really focused on charter schools instead of our other million school kids. Additionally, for homelessness, which our caucus has been fighting for, we had the opportunity to take money that's sitting in the bank. It's called the Rainy Day Fund, and use it to invest in housing and support services for the homeless. The Republican majority wouldn't do so.
Again, that is Sharon Nelson from Maury Island, the Senate Democratic leader. So hearing from both sides there, I think one of the keys that come out of this is the $191 million for wildfires. What do you think, Carol?
Yeah, I mean, we saw last year how all of Eastern Washington basically was up in
The whole
flames.
place. And you have family that were in the fire lines, right?
Yeah, they were basically surrounded by the fire lines. And then right now, through the winter, now that there's still snow up in the higher elevations, but it's just all blackened. So
really?
So
it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while to grow all back out. And
so when that happens, I saw a video on the internet of a cornfield on fire, and the fire was moving through this cornfield at a pretty good clip, and a farmer guy, had a thing pulling behind his plow, cutting a row in the field to make a fire line. And any little bit of preventative maintenance, that's a lot. That sounds like a lot of money. $191 million for wildfires, and that is to help clean up last year's and maybe suppress this year's.
I would imagine that it's probably going to be mainly for future suppressing. I don't know if it's going to include the cleanup. Is that what you heard about that?
Well, I mean, I think there's still a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. And
True.
Peter Goldmark, from Public Lands, I think he was only requesting $20 million. So we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of prevention is needed. And plus they did sort of pass that thing. I'm not sure if it was officially passed, but that they can work with, our citizens can work with the fire officials to stay on their properties.
I remember talking about that. I do know that the folks are going to be able to go in and get their livestock if they need to. So legislature passed a vaping bill with regulations for companies that sell vapor products. The regulations include required label warnings for the health effects of vaping. Bill, also, do we know those? Do we know the health effects of vaping?
I don't. Yeah. When I was looking over this, I was just thinking, I don't even know if they even know what vaping.
Do people even know what they're vaping?
Well, some people, the e-cigarettes, it's nicotine, but are they putting everything else in also in those, because cigarettes have more than just nicotine.
Yeah, it's not pure. Is it pure nicotine?
I can't imagine, but I don't know.
E-cigarettes, other vaping devices, and the nicotine solutions that go into said devices.
Solutions.
Sellers of vapor products would have to be licensed through the Liquor and Cannabis Board, and vaping would be banned from places such as childcare facilities and schools. Currently, vapor products can't be sold to people under 18, but officials say the industry is unregulated statewide. I mean, I see people vaping in the mall.
Right, and I think that is interesting that it's going to be regulated by the Liquor and Cannabis Board, because it's like a cigarette, but now it's going to be regulated by the Liquor and Cannabis Board because
people vape and they think
they vape.
No, you can buy oils, right? Marijuana oils that you put in these e-cigarettes. Now, have you ever seen the devices?
The cartridges. Is that what you're talking about?
So there's a cartridge of the oil,
right?
And it has the whole unit with the heating element and everything. Part of it you can exchange. Are they one and dones, or you can buy new ones?
I think there are one and dones. But as for the e-cigarette part, I don't know. I mean, some people say it's better to do the e-cigarettes than the regular cigarettes. They think that it might help them. But if there's a nicotine solution, I mean, what does that include?
What is the solution?
Yeah, exactly.
622. I don't even know if people get what happens, like the chemical process.
So much to learn.
We'll see if we can find the health effects of vaping here. When we come back, Boeing reportedly taking steps to eliminate 10% of its workforce here.
Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
For your next gourmet meal, you don't need classical training. All you need is a preheated oven and a comfy spot on the couch. Home-baked Papa Murphy's Chicken Bacon Artichoke Gourmet Delight, topped with fresh spinach, grilled chicken, artichoke hearts, and bacon. Or try the Vegetarian Gourmet Delight, topped with creamy garlic sauce and your favorite fresh vegetables on a crispy thin crust. Just $11 for a large. Order online at papamurphys.com. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees.
Is your business targeting the state's largest payroll? Military personnel at JBLM and Naval Base Kitsap surpass all others, and Swarner Communications gives your businesses direct reach into those markets with newspaper advertising, face-to-face events, email blasts, mobile marketing, reputation management, and more, all for one affordable price. Call Swarner Communications today, 253-584-1212.
I've been coming to Iron Springs for about 40 years. First as a child with my parents, then as a teenager, then with my husband. We've brought friends, neighbors, in-laws, a few miscellaneous boyfriends of my sister, carried grandma over streams on the beach, and now I'm back with our two lovely daughters.
Iron Springs Resort, where special memories are kept. Iron Springs is 25 classic historic oceanfront cabins, lovingly renovated with wood-burning fireplaces, uninterrupted ocean views, fully stocked modern kitchens, Wi-Fi, and widescreen TV.
Here for my 41st birthday. Wonderful way to celebrate. An eagle let us get nice and close. Couldn't ask for a better birthday gift.
This Olympic Coast Minute was brought to you by Iron Springs Resort in Copalis Beach, where the ocean and seagulls greet you every day. Visit ironspringsresort.com for our current specials. ironspringsresort.com or call 1-800-380-7950. 1-800-380-7950.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
.625 at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner on another beautiful day. We're getting close to April here. Friday is April 1st. No fooling. That never gets old, probably. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How can you not be with all this awesome weather?
So Kaiser's not feeling well, and I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe a little on this side as well, but he went down yesterday for a nap, heavy sleeper, and in the hour he went down for about 2.5 hours. But in a full hour, I was able to get a full good hour's worth of yard work done.
Wow! And What did you accomplish?
By the looks of it, nothing. You got some various weeds and things that have grown over the winter. And so I've kind of just, instead of pulling everything, I just kind of loosely till it all. And then I assume that because a lot of the plants are now above ground, that they'll slowly die away and then remulch. I don't know. Could be totally wrong, but it looks nice anyways. And so then my next project is trying to do one of these weed barriers. Have you ever done that? Put that weed barrier on?
Yeah, I personally don't care for them, but yeah.
Why?
Because eventually they just get holes in them, and then you just have to, they're just a mess. It seems like a good idea. It seems like a good idea. It does, but, and some people probably love them. I'm not,
Well, I'm still working on deciding on that. I'm still saying, because there's a lot of work to be done. And you just call somebody.
Yeah, that's not, to pick up the phone.
I told Stephanie that yesterday and go, well, we're those people now. The folks that need to call someone to help us maintain because of the kiddo. Boeing reportedly taking steps to eliminate 10% of its workforce here. Reports are the aerospace giant has already taken steps to eliminate 4,000 jobs by June and is aiming for a 10% cut overall. That's an additional 4,000 jobs. Last month, the company announced it would be eliminating commercial airplane jobs as part of a cost-cutting effort. Boeing provided no specific numbers, but it said it's across the board. Thursday, the company said initial jobs eliminated, including hundreds of executives and managers, and that the 4,000 number will be achieved through normal attrition and voluntary buyout packages for about 1,600 employees.
Endangered Puget Sound orcas to get personal health records. Wildlife veterinarians and other whale experts want to take the information collected about these orcas and create a personal health record for each southern resident killer whale. There's about 84 that frequent the Puget Sound. Yeah, it's sort of everybody should have a health record. The record's going to be used to monitor the orca's health trends individually and as a population. It's similar to people having one, medical records as you move around to doctors.
Are these going to be digital and they can move from doctor to doctor if they need to?
I think they'll be digital. I don't know if the orcas will be carrying that information around themselves, but
they better. Those life alert things.
Inject a little chip into the orcas. Sea Doc Society's wildlife vet Joe Gado says the health records could help with decisions on managing the species. More than 24 experts met in Seattle yesterday to develop the idea.
I mean, that's a good idea. You got to know.
Well, you got to know. I mean,
I'm surprised they don't have this already, right? They've got the chips. They know where all these pods are.
Right.
They don't have the information, blood pressure, things like that.
Well, the interesting thing about fish or anything living in the water is we don't know most of the time what they're doing. I mean,
I just assume they're floating there in the water. Like my dogs. They sleep 24 hours a day.
Yeah, no. These guys actually these creatures have a full life that we just aren't aware of.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
Well, that's one way to play it.
An incalculable waste of time and services. That's what authorities say about the 25-hour saga, now known as Man in Tree. Cody Lee Miller, formerly charged on Monday with malicious mischief and assault after he had climbed to the top of the 90-foot tree in downtown Seattle last week, right in front of the Macy's building, remained there for over a day, ignoring police efforts to coax him down. What did he throw at them? Apples and whatnot?
Apples and branches.
The drama sparked intense interest on social media. They made new Twitter accounts. Man in Tree was trending worldwide or just in Washington?
Oh, worldwide.
Worldwide. On Facebook, everybody was talking about Man in Tree. $8,000 in damage, held on $50,000 bail.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. After 20 days in special session, Washington state lawmakers adjourned last night after passing a 2016 supplemental budget. 35th District Representative Dan Griffey told Daybreak yesterday that he was 99% sure that it would happen and shared some of what's in the compromise budget.
Yes, we did come up with a budget deal. I think it's good for Washington. It doesn't spend all of our rainy day fund. It uses a rainy day fund for the wildfires. We're going to put some money into low-income housing. We're going to put some money into K-3 classroom size reduction, which is we did put a considerable amount of money in last biennium, last session, the beginning of the biennium, and then we're going to put some more in there.
The supplemental operating budget, which increases spending by $191 million, was approved by the State House on a vote of 78-17. The Port of Shelton commissioners unanimously approved an amicable separation package with Port Executive Director John Dobson, who was placed on administrative leave at the beginning of the month. The decision officially releases Dobson from his duties at the port. Port Deputy Director Wendy Smith has been serving as interim port director. Mason County Commissioner Randy Netherland this week proposed limiting the number of times county commissioners can phone in to meetings, a move that fellow Commissioner Tim Sheldon says is aimed at him. Sheldon has served as county commissioner for 12 years and in the state Senate since 1997. Netherland admits his proposal was in part brought forth because Sheldon regularly calls in when the state legislature is in session in Olympia or for other reasons. By phoning into a meeting, commissioners can still vote on county business proposals and discuss issues via speakerphone. Commissioner Terry Jeffries also voiced her opposition to a commissioner regularly calling into a meeting. The proposed policy would also require at least 2 commissioners attend a meeting, which is required under the state open meetings law for a quorum to take any action. It would also require 14 days notice for any out-of-town meetings. With spring's arrival, the Washington State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists that studded tires must be removed by the last day in March. Under state law, driving with studded tires after tomorrow, March 31st, is a traffic infraction that could result in a $124 ticket from law enforcement. WSDOT will not be extending the studded tire deadline this year, but crews will continue to monitor roads, passes, and forecasts and work to clear any late season snow or ice. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
Golden State Warriors now 6 wins away from history. Hi, everybody. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
Curry, step back three. Banked it in. Straight on. That's not even fair.
The call on KNBR. Golden State sinks the Wizards. The Warriors now 67-7 on pace to break the Bulls' 72-10 clip for the best regular season record of all time. The Cavaliers resting LeBron James before the playoffs, and they blow a 20-point lead with the king on the bench.
One-on-one with Shumpert's got 4 fouls. He'll pull it for a 3. Got it! Big-time 3 for James Harden.
On KBME, Houston wins 106-100. LeBron looking frustrated on the sidelines as the Cavs let the lead slip away. The U.S. men's soccer team gets a crucial 4-0 win over Guatemala. The Americans were in jeopardy of not qualifying for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. This is ABC Sports. Reggie Jackson didn't leave Oklahoma City on the best of terms, and now the Pistons guard gets revenge on his former club.
Reggie crosses over. Reggie to the rim for a dunk. Beautiful high screen. Allowed Reggie to get right down Woodward Avenue.
As heard on WMGC, Detroit beats the Thunder 88-82. Jackson celebrated on the court at the end of the game. OKC guard Russell Westbrook not happy about his old teammates' antics.
Honestly, I think some real I don't appreciate it.
The Bulls on the outside looking in as the 9th best team in the East. Jimmy Butler coming up big to keep Chicago in the playoff hunt.
Pull up, comes up shooting, got it! from 10 feet right of the lane. Timeout Indiana with 3.7 seconds left. Onions, baby onions.
On WMVP, Bulls win 98-96 in Indiana. They're now 2 games back of the Pacers for the final playoff spot. There's only 2 teams left in the NIT. Valparaiso and George Washington will square off in the championship tomorrow night. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Well, the Mariners have been down in the desert for a few weeks now.
Goodbye baseball, onto the berm. Robbie Cadeau.
The vets are sounding good, and the rookies are looking to make the cut. Before too long, it will be opening day. And iFIBER ONE News Radio is your home for Seattle Mariners baseball all season long. You can listen on AM 1030 or FM 1033. The South Sound home for Mariners baseball this season is iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 or FM 1033.
Now, from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Jeff Slakey.
.36 on a Wednesday morning, the 30th of March, and a good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey. Foss jumped out to an early lead on the pitch, but the boys in red and white came fighting back. 2 goals down from junior, behind 2 goals from junior midfield Santi Lopez. The High Climbers took down Foss 3-1. Shelton will look to keep momentum rolling when they host Wilson Thursday tomorrow. Be sure to check our website this afternoon as Sports Director Sean Wells will have full video highlights from the big win and an interview with Shelton head coach Jason Smith. Today, Sean will be covering the Shelton softball game in town versus Capital at MCRA. Baseball is playing out at the Rack in Lacey. At the end of the month, that's tomorrow, Sean will be covering the Wilson soccer game as well. Jan Gomes hit his 5th spring homer, drove in 3 runs. Cleveland Indians beat the Mariners yesterday 4-1. Our next Mariners game is today on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Mariners take on the Cleveland Indians, pregame at 5:55. Regular season starts Monday with an afternoon game against the Texas Rangers right here on AM 1030 and FM 1033. Starting Monday, April 11th, Carol and I have got 20 pair of Mariners tickets to give away. We're giving away a pair a week, except for a special 4th of July one. We're going to do a family 4-pack because we love 4th of July. But for the most part, we're going to have a pair of tickets a week to give away here on Daybreak. Be listening for the sports reports from Sports Director Sean Wells Monday mornings, and then we'll have your opportunity to call in and win tickets to an upcoming Mariners game. Changed a little this time too, Carol. No qualifiers. You know, in years past, we've had somebody qualify each day of the week or over the 2 weeks, and then we have a drawing. We're just doing straight up
Mariner Monday.
Mariner Monday.
We'll be wearing our Mariner blues on Mondays, right?
Okay.
I have a hat. I need to get a shirt. I have a hat to wear. Mariner hat.
Maybe I'll go get a hat this weekend. 53 sled dogs and 4 mushers who competed in the Iditarod are now camping on Nisqually tribal land. The Trib reports Norwegian musher Tori Albrechtsen said their original plan was to fly home from Anchorage after the race fell apart. Cargo plane, though, wasn't available. Albrechtsen says instead the mushers crated 4 dogs and traveled to Seattle in a U-Haul. Imagine that ride, stopping in Nisqually. Thurston County deputies said they've been getting a lot of calls. The tribal employees have invited the Huskies and people there to camp on the land while they wait for a flight to Europe today. Mushers also got showers and meals at the casino. Wouldn't that be something to see that?
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of beautiful looking Huskies running around. Why did they come all the way down to Nisqually? They're going to be heading back up to SeaTac.
Get some special food.
Good food at the casino.
Good morning. Maybe they just wanted to experience the weather in Seattle or Western Washington. I don't know.
It's true.
It's another gorgeous day today. It's going to be cool to start, but sunshine and warm weather overall. We'll reach the mid to high 60s, and we'll be more near the 70s tomorrow and Friday. Right now, it's 37.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people, you. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 6:40 here at iFIBER ONE Newsradio.com to Wednesday morning. Budget was passed yesterday for the state. We'll talk to Drew McEwen in a little bit about that. Also, transit talk today and Port of Call. They've reached the separation package there between the port and former Executive Director John Dobson. That's in Mary Lynn's news. And this phone-in meeting attendance is a kind of a big story on iFIBER1newsradio.com, also on our Facebook page. And you have any thoughts on this phone-in meeting thing? It's kind of reminiscent as I think more and more about it. If you're an elected person, I get that there's two jobs that Senator Sheldon does, Commissioner and Senator Sheldon. So oftentimes he is in Olympia working.
Right.
But people like the face-to-face of local government.
Right. I mean, in his defense, people did elect him to do both jobs.
They knew he's been doing it for years. He's been doing it for decades.
Doing it forever. And so he's I think he said he wasn't running for county commission. He'll just
one of the two. It's one of the
two. So it's almost, well, not really, but I was going to say a moot point, but because he's going to not be doing it anymore. Right, but as for in the future, I mean, I really think you should be there. I mean, if you can't be there, as a certain amount definitely should be allowed to phone in. And if something emergency happened, you should have that ability to phone in.
Emergencies happen. You got to be able to accommodate.
Right. But if you know you're going to be gone, a notice is always good.
And if how does that work in other companies? Like if I just phoned it in all the time.
I don't think you'd be here. So.
And that's the answer right there.
Sometimes GPS.
The gavel and Slakey's
that's it.
Laying down. Drop the mic.
I mean, that's true.
It is
in a normal job, in the real world, if you don't show up to your job and you phone it in.
It's funny how everybody always talks about the government not being real.
You're listening to Daybreak.
We allow it.
iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Sometimes GPS lets you down. Always have a map handy in the glove box. And that's an easy thing to do with Mass Marketing Maps. These maps are free. Pick one up today at West Realty in Hoodsport, Mountain View Licensing on Wallace Neyland, at the Agate Store, and at iFIBER ONE News Radio. So the next time technology lets you down, be prepared with a new map from Mass Marketing.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? PowerSwabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of PowerSwabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with PowerSwabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try PowerSwabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
We love hearing from our listeners and sharing their stories with you. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Today we're featuring an Idaho man who has created his own alternatives to dairy products as he's living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages. He's done 3 tours and now he's saving his dad's farm. Do you know a farmer veteran like that? We're inviting you to share their story. Successful Farming Magazine and Grasshopper Mowers are teaming up to acknowledge and thank farmer veterans for their service. This new initiative is called From Fighter to Farmer. Enter any veteran farmers you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter-to-farmer. Explain the veteran's military experience and farming operation, along with the involvement they have in your community. 3 veterans will receive a combination prize package of $5,000 and a vacation to Nashville. 1 lucky winner will also receive a $10,000 gift certificate to spend at Grasshopper Mowers. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 40 contiguous United States and D.C. 13 years and older. Begins February 1st, 2016 and ends April 30th, 2016. Subject to official rules at agriculture.com/fighter-to-farmer rules. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Sponsored Meredith Corporation. From Fighter to Farmer is brought to you by Grasshopper Mowers. Enter any veteran farmer you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter-to-farmer.
Landon Walker of Idaho Falls, Idaho, has been lactose intolerant all of his life. He tried drinking rice milk, soy milk, and almond milk, but didn't like anything he bought from the grocery store. As they say, necessity is the mother of invention. So Landon started making his own almond milk in his kitchen. He says his recipe has a higher almond concentration, no preservatives, and it tastes better. Landon says almond milk is basically almonds mixed with water.
Usually people will soak their almonds, allow them to sprout even, and you unlock a lot of the nutrients. Usually you're going to blend almonds in water and then strain out the pulp so that it's not gritty. We use natural sweetener. We use local honey in ours, and then we use coconut oil and vanilla and some sea salt.
Landon perfected his process and started making chocolate cashew milk too. He sold his products at a local farmer's market and people bought them like crazy. The business expanded to making home deliveries on a scooter, and now he makes coconut-based ice cream as well. Most recently, Landon says they started working with a local dairy to pasteurize their products so they could be in grocery stores. He also notes the dairy doesn't see it as competing with cow's milk.
A dairy can make the most wonderful, delicious milk in the world, and I'm not going to drink it because it makes me sick. So I need an alternative. The dairy actually came and approached us because they realized that, there's a lot of their customers who have children who just can't drink the milk. Everybody needs different things, and, if you can't drink milk, almond milk's a great alternative.
Landon says he'd like to work with other dairies with a similar vision and help them produce their own almond milk. We'd like to hear what makes your place special. Tell us about it at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Before the break, Carol, I said that Commissioner Sheldon was in for decades. I don't know if you heard me say that.
I did hear you say that.
It's 12 years.
All right.
Sheldon has served as a county commissioner for 12 years and has served in the state senate since 97. So just so we're on the same page there.
Okay.
I will also, though, point out that the picture on iFIBER1newsradio.com, sans Commissioner Sheldon, was taken in 2014. So it's not like it's a new picture. So this has been going on.
Mm-hmm.
So comment if you wish. On the other side, though, people have been electing him over and over again. So
that's true.
I guess they're not that
Process of democracy. Tonight's the Washington Department of Ecology public hearing on the Shelton C Street landfill.
Yeah, that's going to be an important one. I think a lot of people are going to be there tonight. So it's going to be your opportunity to not only verbally comment, but also written comment. I will let you know, though, if you're going to be making a verbal comment, there's a time limit. But the writing comments work just the same. It's all part of the public file. So it's at the Johns Prairie building, Mason County PD 3, 2621 East Johns Prairie Road in Shelton tonight from 5:30 to 8:30.
And there's a groundbreaking for the 25th Habitat for Humanity home. It's this Friday. It's on the corner of I and Washington. Starts at 10 a.m. and everybody's welcome to go check it out.
Yeah, that's a great thing. We talked with Marty Crow yesterday. The video interview is on iFIBER1newsradio.com under the Daybreak tab there. And they're taking the advantage of the recent reductions in the construction fees that the City Commission put forth.
Which is also starting this Friday.
Yeah.
April 1st. No joke.
No fooling.
Are you really going to be gone Friday, or is that just a joke?
Well, we'll find out Friday.
I guess we will.
The other day, I don't know if you heard this story. We talked about the man in tree.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different tree story, still in Seattle. Seattle City Attorney Pete Holmes says the city is mulling criminal charges over the illegal cutting of more than 150 trees in a public West Seattle greenbelt. Holmes says he's asked police to investigate, also pursuing civil remedies. Statement late Monday, a lawyer for a homeowner on the block called the cutting a mistake, saying his client and other neighbors hired a landscape business to top and prune some trees to improve their views.
Mm-hmm.
The lawyer has sent a letter to the city on his client's behalf, claiming at least partial responsibility for the damage and offering to find a way to make amends. The clear-cut area is considered environmentally critical due to its steep slope. It's part of a known landslide zone as well.
So who's this landscaping company?
Sure.
And are they just throwing them under the bus? You know? Oh, is it our fault?
Landscapers are going to say, we were told to come out and cut some trees.
Yeah, all the trees. That's pretty interesting. They're just saying, it was the landscapers, miscommunication.
Well, what's the recourse? There's no recourse. They've already done it. The trees are gone, 150 trees.
Yep.
Here's a story for you. I know someone who lives in a big kind of posh, I don't want to say posh, but it's a higher end neighborhood in Thurston County.
Somewhere where you and I won't be living.
Somewhere where you and I will never we can't even look at the entrance. And so in the backyards, these are beautifully manicured backyards. And, people these days are right on top of each other. You're looking right into the person's backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard this story that this person wanted to build some fish ponds. Okay. Turns out they ended up building 2 skateboard bowls, a skate park, basically, in the backyard in a residential neighborhood.
Huh.
And what now? There's no recourse. The cement's already been drained. Oh, sorry.
I know. People do that. They'll just say, go ahead and do it, and then ask for forgiveness later, because it's the consequences are not as bad, which is really sad. So where's the integrity of the person?
Just do stuff. Yeah. And by the way, the homeowner, I believe I read in the story, not even around. They were off on holiday.
Yeah.
Probably at St. Bart's or something.
Conveniently not home.
150 trees.
Yeah.
After the first couple trees, nobody else walks out and goes, what are you doing? Can I see a permit for this?
Right. I don't know. It's crazy. People just, I don't know. The view, man.
It's all about the view.
Plus, makes selling your home,
look at the spacious
the price.
View. Oh, the landslide? Don't worry about that.
Yeah. When
Check
you're
out
at the bottom.
View. Governor signed legislation that will help fund efforts to conserve wild steelhead. You are soon to be able to maybe get one of these new license plates with a fish on it. And they are pretty beautiful looking. The bill, requested by the Fish and Wildlife Department, supported by conservationists and fishing enthusiasts. They got signatures from more than 4,000 people who expressed interest in buying steelhead specialty license plates when they're available next year. Have you ever had one of these?
No, I have not.
I had a Mariners one.
Did you?
Yeah, came from a past car of mine. And you have got the opportunity here in the great state of Washington to choose all sorts, including you can get a Cougar one.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a Western one if I wish. They got some great looking ones for Medal of Honor winners. Also, if you're into volunteer firefighting and lighthouses, pets. My dad has a 4-H one. He was in 4-H as a kid. And then these Wild on Washington series with the bear and the deer and the parks. Really nice looking. Music Matters.
What happened to your Mariners one?
Well, so I thought that it came from when I bought the car.
Right.
It was already on there. And I think that they had used it to initially raise funds for Safeco,
mm-hmm.
which has since raised funds enough. So I just said, no, I'm done with, because I thought there was an extra little bonus that went to the Safeco or the Mariners or something.
So you had to pay extra?
Oh, yeah, you got to pay extra for these. Oh, yeah, no.
So once you buy it, you don't own it? You have to pay extra for your fees?
I believe it's part of your tabs.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
But it's a good-looking plate. I saw a really nice one in California. Black background, yellow letters. So imagine on like a black car.
Right.
It looks sharp.
Tinted windows?
Oh, yeah, of course. It was like a Iron Man Audi. Very fancy. Yeah, California.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Are you risking your health by eating expired foods? It's an in-depth look at what those package dates mean from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Wednesday, March 30th, the 90th day of the year. Notable birthdays include Celine Dion, Warren Beatty, and Eric Clapton, and a would-be assassin wounded President Reagan on this day in 1981. Expiration dates on food items can have a variety of meanings. Here's a quick rundown on what they mean. A best if used by date is just a recommendation for getting the highest quality, not a safety rule. But most items are perfectly fine a few days after this date. The sell-by date is used by retailers for inventory purposes. An item past the sell date is by no means expired, and you'll occasionally see a guaranteed fresh-by date. Again, it's just a recommendation for an item's peak quality. Item dates rarely reflect an item's safety or edibility. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more at almanac.com.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
CNBC Business Radio Report coming up in less than a minute, so we don't have much time for this, Carol. So we'll just kind of keep talking about this license plate thing. I'm looking at the different license plates, and I see something interesting. To get, for example, a Medal of Honor license plate, you'll need to submit proof from Veterans Affairs that you received the Medal of Honor. But, you know what I'm saying here.
I know. I know you're going.
You can just claim that you're a Medal of Honor victor, a recipient.
Right.
That's protected speech. I think we found that out. The Supreme Court says that's protected speech.
That goes along with that integrity.
So you can just walk around and say that you're a Medal of Honor winner. But if you want to go the step and get a license plate, you have to show proof. Do you think that they should make them show proof? Pearl Harbor survivor. You were stationed at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, was offshore 3 miles or less, and received an honorable discharge.
I think that
from armed forces.
I think that if you're going to proudly display that, then yeah, you should be able to prove that you were there.
But you don't have to. I mean, they just had that story about the representative that had to give up his seat because he said that he did Army stuff he may not have done.
Right.
On iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
CNBC Business Radio. Wall Street is building on Tuesday's gains. The S&P 500 recorded its highest close so far this year. That's after Fed Reserve Chair Janet Yellen said the central bank would proceed cautiously with future rate hikes. The Dow's up 156 points, the Nasdaq higher by 52. McCormick has sweetened its takeover bid for Premier Foods for a second time. The U.S. spice company is trying to bring the British company's board to the table to work out a deal. McCormick is valuing Premier at $774 million, including debt and future pension liabilities. And Taiwan's Foxconn has agreed to buy Japan's Sharp for $3.5 billion. Foxconn assembles Apple's iPhones. Lululemon sold a lot of yoga wear over the past Christmas shopping season, helping it to a higher than expected quarterly profit.
O'Reilly. The weather's getting warmer, and that means it's time to start working on your yard. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a Super Start Lawn and Garden Battery starting at $21.99. Springtime means yard work, so stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for a Super Start Lawn and Garden Battery you can count on. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, Bob, how's business? Is the new website helping?
Not good. I can't figure out how to get the website finished. How did you do it?
Easy. I called Web.com. They built my website for free. Then they promoted it on all the search engines.
Like Google, Yahoo, and Bing?
Exactly. And Web.com has helped grow my business so much, I had to bring on new staff.
Hey, if Web.com did it for you, they're perfect for me.
Call now, 1-800-535-8815. That's 1-800-535-8815. Again, 1-800-535-8815.
Mornings start with Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Join Jeff and Carol weekdays from 6 to 9 on AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Auto headlights are in a very unflattering spotlight. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety gives a good rating to just one vehicle's lights, the Toyota Prius 5. IIS spokesman David Zuby says the problem is a lack of reach.
The low-beam halogen headlights on the BMW 3 Series, for example, only project about 130 feet down the right edge of a straightaway. In contrast, the Toyota Prius V LED low beams project 400 feet.
Donald Trump is doubling down on his embattled campaign manager, not only refusing to fire Corey Lewandowski, who's charged with battery for allegedly roughing up a female reporter, but suggesting a counterpunch is coming.
This thing has gotten out of control by the press. I think, frankly, this is not a claim that should have been made. I'm sure there'll be a counterclaim coming down the line because this is not a claim.
The man who confessed to hijacking an Egypt Air passenger plane with 70 aboard made his first court appearance in Cyprus. ABC's Lama Hassan is there.
Saifuldin Mustafa, the Egyptian national accused of hijacking a domestic Egypt Air flight and forcing it to land in the Mediterranean island of Cyprus by threatening to blow it up with a fake explosives belt, is facing multiple charges on serious offenses, including possession of explosives, threatening violence, and threatening to assault with the use of explosive substances. The district court in Larnaca has ordered Mustafa's detention for 8 days as they continue with their investigation. Lama Hassan, ABC News, Larnaca.
The job market continues to show strength. A private payment processor says companies added 200,000 new workers to their rosters last month. The government's jobs report is due out Friday. This could be why times are tense in the Lakers locker room. D'Angelo Russell posted a video he secretly videotaped of teammate Nick Young, Iggy Azalea's fiance, talking about other women. Azalea tweeted a cryptic response saying, Louisiana corrections authorities are trying to find out how rapper C. Murder recorded and released a rap song while in prison, serving a life term for his name. This is ABC News.
How do most people discover the blends of tea they like? Trial and error. But at Twinings of London, we believe in just trial. That's because we have 9 master blenders traveling the world to find the best teas, spices, and herbs for the perfect balance of taste, flavor, and aroma. With over 50 great tasting varieties, we wouldn't mind if you tried them all. Twinings of London. Teas that fit your every mood. Available at Amazon or Bed Bath & Beyond.
Let's face it, you don't drive that beige minivan to turn heads. So it's embarrassing when your brake pads start screeching like a wounded eagle at every stop sign you come to. Right now, you can silence the squeal with a great deal on CarQuest Gold brake pads, courtesy of your neighborhood Advance Auto Parts. And when you purchase a set of pads along with 2 rotors, you can get $15 back by mail. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back to the garage. Also available at participating CarQuest Auto Parts. Mail and rebate. Void where prohibited. See store for details.
President Obama has invited world leaders to Washington for the Nuclear Security Summit. Details from ABC's Lana Zak.
Amid the backdrop of recent terror attacks and North Korean nuclear tests, the White House says the Nuclear Security Summit is as important as ever. President Obama has argued that nuclear terrorism is the, quote, most immediate and extreme threat to global security. Tomorrow, world leaders will convene in Washington for the 4th summit, but among the RSVPs, one is missing, Russia. Moscow's foreign ministry saying the summits have played their role, but that they do not intend to participate in this one. Lana Zak, ABC News, the White House.
Countless people have reported seeing the face of Jesus and everything from puddles to peanut butter, but now it seems the devil is getting his due. A man in Mexico has posted a picture on Facebook purporting to show an image of Satan from horns to tail, complete with eyes, nose, ears, even wings, in a cut of salted pork. Eerily, the figure seems to be smiling and waving. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. After 20 days in special session, Washington state lawmakers adjourned last night after passing a 2016 supplemental budget. 35th District Representative Dan Griffey told Daybreak yesterday that he was 99% sure that it would happen and shared some of what's in the compromise budget.
Yes, we did come up with a budget deal. I think it's good for Washington. It doesn't spend all of our rainy day fund. It uses a rainy day fund for the wildfires. We're going to put some money into low-income housing. We're going to put some money into K-3 classroom size reduction, which is we did put a considerable amount of money in last biennium, last session, the beginning of the biennium, and then we're going to put some more in there.
The supplemental operating budget, which increases spending by $191 million, was approved by the State House on a vote of 78-17. The Port of Shelton commissioners unanimously approved an amicable separation package with Port Executive Director John Dobson, who was placed on administrative leave at the beginning of the month. The decision officially releases Dobson from his duties at the port. Port Deputy Director Wendy Smith has been serving as interim port director. Mason County Commissioner Randy Netherland this week proposed limiting the number of times county commissioners can phone in to meetings, a move that fellow Commissioner Tim Sheldon says is aimed at him. Sheldon has served as county commissioner for 12 years and in the state Senate since 1997. Netherland admits his proposal was in part brought forth because Sheldon regularly calls in when the state legislature is in session in Olympia or for other reasons. By phoning into a meeting, commissioners can still vote on county business proposals and discuss issues via speakerphone. Commissioner Terry Jeffries also voiced her opposition to a commissioner regularly calling into a meeting. The proposed policy would also require at least 2 commissioners attend a meeting, which is required under the state open meetings law for a quorum to take any action. It would also require 14 days notice for any out-of-town meetings. With spring's arrival, the Washington State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists that studded tires must be removed by the last day in March. Under state law, driving with studded tires after tomorrow, March 31st, is a traffic infraction that could result in a $124 ticket from law enforcement. WSDOT will not be extending the studded tire deadline this year, but crews will continue to monitor roads, passes, and forecasts and work to clear any late season snow or ice. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
John Cruz here. Join us this weekend on Northwestern Outdoors Radio as we tell you about not only fishing, but making some money too by participating in the Northern Pike Minnow Sport Reward Program. We'll also tell you about the great fishing at Fort Peck Reservoir in northern Montana and the upcoming Chinook season on the Clearwater River in Idaho.
Northwestern Outdoors Radio. Saturdays at 9, Sundays at 10 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Now, from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Jeff Slakey.
Well, thank you. Good morning. 7:08 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Jaffoss jumped out to an early lead on the pitch, but the boys in red and white came fighting back. Behind 2 goals from junior midfield Santi Lopez, the High Climbers took down Foss 3-1. Shelton will look to keep momentum rolling when they host Wilson on Thursday tomorrow. Make sure to check out our website this afternoon as Sports Director Sean Wells will have full video highlights from the big win, including an interview with Shelton head coach James Smith. Weather is nice. That means Sean is out and about. Today he's covering the Shelton softball game versus Capital at MCRA, the boys baseball teams playing at the Rack in Lacey. Tomorrow, Sean will be covering the soccer game versus Wilson. Yan Gomes hit his 5th spring homer and drove in 3 runs, leading the Cleveland Indians to a 4-1 victory over the Mariners last night. Our next Mariners game is today, taking on the Cleveland Indians. Pregame at 5:55. Regular season starts Monday with an afternoon game against Texas, right here on AM 1030 and FM 103.3. 7:10 now at iFIBER One News Radio. Checking the South Sounds forecast. Here's Carol.
Good morning. It's another gorgeous day. Cool to start, but sunshine and warm weather overall, and we'll reach the mid-60s to low 70s today and tomorrow. Right now it is 37, and I'm looking at an awesome picture, Hurricane Ridge webcam, where the sunrise is coming up. It's just beautiful. It's just clear, and there's this beautiful sunrise glow. It's very clear. It's very nice. So look for that today when you go outside. Just all bright sunny. Get out and do your yard work. And hour if you can, like you were able to do yesterday.
Yeah, hour here and there, get the job done. Takes a little while though.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Good morning. I'm Carol Gardner along with Jeff Slakey, and we have a great show for you today on Daybreak. We're going to have a guest, Drew McCune, coming up in about 5 minutes or so. And we're also streaming audio and video this morning on iFiber1newsradio.com. You can find us on Twitter at iFIBER Radio, or you can search for us on Facebook, 1030 KMES, and you can put that right into your Facebook search bar.
Tonight's the public hearing of the Shelton C Street landfill from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Mason County PUD3 building on Johns Prairie Road. Also a reminder that this Friday, a big day for Habitat for Humanity as they break ground on their 25th home, and there's a kind of a ceremony that's happening on the corner of I and Washington, where that house will be built in the city of Shelton. It's taking advantage of those fee reductions that the city had, and they're going to be building that house up, and that's pretty cool stuff. Pretty fun talking to Executive Director Marty Crow yesterday on Daybreak. You can watch the video on the website. Budget compromise is a good one. We got some audio that will play throughout the rest of the morning, and it looks like Boeing could be cutting jobs here in the state. It's I
was just going to say, we do hear that once in a while about all the jobs being cut.
7:12 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Sometimes GPS lets you down. Always have a map handy in the glove box. And that's an easy thing to do with Mass Marketing Maps. These maps are free. Pick one up today at the Hoodsport Winery, Hood Canal Travel in Belfair, Century Mini Storage, and at iFIBER One News Radio. So the next time technology lets you down, be prepared with a new map from Mass Marketing.
To file electronically or by mail. I'm ABC's Chief Business and Economics Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis with today's tax tip.
If you've never considered switching to electronic filing, this might be the year to do it.
The IRS's Eric Smith says budget cuts to the agency will delay those filing the old-fashioned way.
Paper return processing is going to take longer this year.
Smith says people looking for their refund may have to wait 7 weeks if they file by paper, but just 21 days if they opt electronically. H&R Block's Kathy Pickering agrees.
The fastest way to be able to file your return and get your refund is to file electronically and then take your refund as an electronic direct deposit into your bank account or onto a prepaid debit card.
There's been a shrinking amount of paper filings over the past 3 years. The IRS says 4 out of 5 taxpayers now file electronically. With today's tax tip, Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News.
Wittenberg CPA is a professional accounting, tax, and financial consulting firm serving the diverse needs of their businesses and individual clients. They bring excellence and integrity to every aspect of their work, from accounting software support like QuickBooks to tax preparation for individual and business needs, as well as personal, financial, and estate planning services. Wittenberg CPA has the services you or your business needs this year for taxes. Find them online at wittenbergcpa.com or call 426-0230. That's 426-0230.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
$7:15 on a Wednesday morning, and a good morning to you. Wednesdays, we have been talking, Carol and I have been talking with 35th District Representative Drew McEwen, and Drew calls in on the day after big doings in the state capitol. Morning, Drew.
Good morning. How are we?
We are well, and we are excited with the news that we heard yesterday that the special session wrapped up. So are we done, or?
Yeah, we are done.
That's
so
awesome.
it is. It is over, and very pleased with that. It was. Even though that the full House and the full Senate don't meet every day during special session, that doesn't mean that there's anything going on. The budget negotiators are meeting basically nonstop, and the breakthrough happened actually Saturday night, and then they allowed some time. They didn't make a whole lot public to allow time for members to review everything, and I think it was late Monday. They said, okay, they made it public that we've got this deal done and we're going to do it. And by and large, things went pretty smooth last night. There was a couple of hiccups along the way, but nothing that was workable. And, we got it done. And, I was intentionally a little vague on this show and in other media with, what was going on in negotiations. I don't think that you should negotiate in the press or in the public. That, you got to be able to have frank and candid conversations behind closed doors. And now that we're done, I can tell you that the main sticking points, I think I alluded to them a little bit before, were, and keep in mind, this isn't always Democrat versus Republican. It's also House versus Senate, House versus Governor, Governor versus Senate. It's not always an R&D thing, but from my point of view, some of the internal struggles within the House was on the House Democrat side had a desire to originally in their original budget that was done a couple months ago, it had a $400 million increase in spending that made a significant number of tax increase assumptions, and they finally came off of that. And then also what we have a requirement that was instituted in 2012 is the 4-year budget outlook, and that means that we not only do we have to balance in our current budget, but spending levels you have to extrapolate out over a 4-year period. And your assumptions on revenue and everything, it all has to balance over a 4-year period. And the purpose of that is to help smooth out the ups and downs of the economy that none of us have any control over. And so those were some of the main sticking points. And when it's all said and done, we have a very modest increase in the budget. And keep in mind, this is just a change to the existing budget we're already operating under, which was passed last year. So, I'm a big believer that you don't make major policy changes in a supplemental year. This budget increased spending by about 0.5%. There are no tax increases in it. A big item that needed to happen is we took $190 million from the budget stabilization account, which is the rainy day fund, to pay for the wildfires, and that is exactly what that account is there for unforeseen emergencies that we had happen. And one of the other contingencies that was put out there during budget negotiations was, let's tap the rainy day fund for some other spending programs as well, since we're going to be tapping it anyway. And I disagree with that approach, and I'm glad that we at the end of the day, we used it for what it was intended for, and that was to pay for something that was unforeseen and uncontrollable. So, and then looking at, and then we did manage to have this balance out over 4 years as was required by existing statute. And so our ending 4-year balance on the budget is $9 million, which in the context of a $39 billion budget, it's not a lot of money. And I think that's good in the sense that we're not taking more money from the taxpayers than we need to. and we're operating at a level that is efficient and does a good thing. A couple of highlights in there. We did put more money into K-12 and into higher education, early learning as well. One of the bigger increases that did happen on spending levels on the mental health side, and I think that that's a bipartisan effort there. Everybody agrees that we got a lot of solving to do still in that arena, and I'm glad that we stepped up to the plate and addressed some issues with Western State Hospital as well. So I think those are some of the budget highlights. The other big item last night, and there's a couple of handful of bills that we need to do related to the budget, but we did, in conjunction with the Senate, override 27 vetoes by the governor. And to put that in context, the last time a bill was overridden by the legislature was in 1998. It was one bill. So last night there were 27 veto overrides that were done, and those bills are now officially law without the governor's support. So that was a fairly significant item last night as well.
That is a lot of bills to get back in and breathe a little more life in there. I want to ask you, do you think now for the next session when we all gather back again that someone is going to put forth any legislation about what can be done during a special session?
Well, what happens between now and the next session, there's an election in there.
Right.
So that'll certainly have an impact on the who's there, who's not there. So personalities are going to change, and also again we are seeing, and again this is not a Republican or a Democrat statement. This is the fact that's out there. On the House Democrat side, they have a fair number of senior members that have either left or are leaving, and there's going to be somewhat of a void on that side of the aisle. And I don't mean that in a partisan sense at all. It's just a fact of life, what's going on our side of the aisle. Those that I'm aware that are not planning to return, it's one or two. And but there will be changes. And, of course, we have the governor up for election, and, things will happen in the Senate as well. So having said all that, the special sessions that we've had, there's a couple of things in my opinion on that. One, I believe, especially in this one, we remained very focused on just, doing the supplemental budget and not extracurricular things. And that held pretty true. In fact, we only had in the House one day that we met as a whole body, and that was yesterday. And so what that means for legislation is we didn't put in a whole new set of bills. We stuck to the budget, and I think that's good. I think the frustrations that we have, and if you look at the history of special sessions, even though it's been probably a little more contentious in the last few years, but if you look over the last 30 years, I'm not making this an excuse, but the reality is that special sessions have not been that special. They've been rather frequent, and there's only been a handful of years. 2 years ago was an example where we actually were out on time to not have one. But it's only been a handful of times that it's happened in the last 30 years where there's not been one. And part of it is just the size of the budget. And do you want the legislature, when you look at the revenue forecast when it comes in and implementing the policy that changes that have happened, do you really want the legislature to do a $38 billion budget in less than a week? Because that's the time frame oftentimes you're left with in a regular session. I think, having said that, I think there's some structural things we can do to change the process and avoid some of that. I certainly do agree with that, but there's not a silver bullet to making it smooth. I'd say that special sessions should not be the norm. They should be special.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to continue to look at some structural changes we can make in the process. But by design, the things move slow in the legislature, and that it's actually designed to make it hard to implement legislation, not easy. And I agree with that concept. But we'll see how these next 10 months play out and where how that restacks the deck of cards, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, 35th District Representative Drew McEwen, we'll have him in again sometime in the future to have another kind of look back on the session that was ending late last night. Drew, thank you so much for calling in all session long and keeping us updated on what's happening.
My pleasure. I look forward to doing a real wrap up.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We'll set something up on that one.
Sounds good. Have a great day.
All right. Bye. 7:23 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. When we come back, we'll talk about the man in the tree and some health records for orcas. It's all coming up on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Presenting another Olympic Coast Minute.
I've been coming to Iron Springs for about 40 years. First as a child with my parents, then as a teenager, then with my husband. We've brought friends, neighbors, in-laws, a few miscellaneous boyfriends of my sister, carried grandma over streams on the beach, and now I'm back with our 2 lovely daughters.
Iron Springs Resort is where special memories are kept. Iron Springs consists of 25 classic, historic oceanfront cabins, lovingly renovated, with wood-burning fireplaces, uninterrupted ocean views, fully stocked modern kitchens, Wi-Fi, and widescreen TV. It gets better. Iron Springs is offering you their spring special. Book 2 nights, and the 3rd night is on us. Stay 3 nights and pay for only 2. For details, visit us at ironspringsresort.com. ironspringsresort.com. This Olympic Coast Minute was brought to you by Iron Springs Resort in Copalis Beach, where the ocean and seagulls greet you every day.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
7:25 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey, along with Carol Gardner here on a Wednesday. Nice day today, Carol.
Beautiful day. Should hit
Another 70.
should in some places. Some forecasts say high 60s. Some say, yeah, for sure.
Pocket schedules are here at the studio. Come on down to 210 West Coda and pick up your Seattle Mariners pocket schedule so you know the times of the games on iFIBER ONE News Radio. AM 1030 and FM 103.3 all season long. And starting on April 11th, Monday morning, we start Mariners Monday. Big ticket giveaway. We're changing the rules from years past and changing the contest from years past. And every Monday, a caller will have an opportunity to answer a question from Sean Wells's sports reports throughout the morning. And then we'll play the Mariners theme music. We'll get someone who has the right answer, and we'll give them a pair of tickets. We've got 20 pair to give away from April 11th through the next 19 weeks, because we're going to do a special family 4-pack for the 4th of July holiday. Because the 4th of July, Carol, is a Monday this year.
It is a Monday.
So we won't be here.
I probably won't be here. And I don't think people will be calling in.
No, the phones will be off the hook that day. So we've got a lot of great tickets to give away. And in addition to that, they always give us some great games, special event games, like bobblehead nights and stuff like that.
Fireworks and movies.
Yeah, movies, and they're going to show Star Wars this year. And yeah, real crazy. All right, good morning to you. It is 7:27 at iFIBER ONE Newsradio.com. The endangered orcas that spend time in the Washington waters are among the most closely studied, and it's expected to get even more in-depth. Veterinarians and other whale experts want to take the information collected about them and consolidate it all, create personal health records for each southern resident killer whale, 84 of them. Records can be used to monitor the orca's health trends individually and as a population, similar to, people having medical records that they now have digitally, and they can move between doctors and this and that.
These records will probably be way more in-depth than most people have.
Oh, yeah. Sea Doc Society's wildlife veterinarian Joe Gato says the health records could help with decisions on managing the species. More than 24 experts met yesterday to develop the program. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. An incalculable wasted time and services. That's what authorities are saying about the 25-hour saga of a man who refused to come down from that giant sequoia up in Seattle. Cody Lee Miller was formally charged Monday with malicious mischief and assault after he climbed to the top of the 90-foot tree last week and remained there for about 25 hours, throwing apples at police and other officials and ripping off the branches at the top of the tree and throwing them down. People thought it was interesting. They did a #ManInTree for Twitter, and it trended all over the world. I mean, it was just sort of people were like, what's going on with that man in the tree?
What's up with the man in tree?
Court officials officials not so enamored, I guess, by him. Said he caused about $8,000 in damage to the tree. He's scheduled to be in court April 11th, and he's being held on a $50,000 bail. And if he makes bail, he's ordered to have no contact with the tree.
Just that tree. He can go to any other one, though. Tonight, the Washington Department of Ecology's public hearing on the Shelton C Street landfill going on from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Johns Prairie, Mason County PUD 3, Johns Prairie Road location 2621 East Johns Prairie Road. And the groundbreaking for the 25th Habitat for Humanity home is Friday at the corner of I and Washington. Watch the interview with Executive Director Marty Crow yesterday on Daybreak, and you can see that information and find out what the monies goes to for Habitat for Humanity. They got those great stores full of lots of stuff. I found all sorts of stuff when I've been in there before.
It's
these tables these are great tables.
Got to go and cruise around and check it out. It changes all the time, he said.
Yeah.
Every few days you got new stock.
To Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. After 20 days in special session, Washington state lawmakers adjourned last night after passing a 2016 supplemental budget. 35th District Representative Dan Griffey told Daybreak yesterday that he was 99% sure that it would happen and shared some of what's in the compromise budget.
Yes, we did come up with a budget deal. I think it's good for Washington. It doesn't spend all of our rainy day fund. It uses a rainy day fund for the wildfires. We're going to put some money into low-income housing. We're going to put some money into K-3 classroom size reduction, which is we did put a considerable amount of money in last session, the beginning of the biennium, and then we're going to put some more in there.
The supplemental operating budget, which increases spending by $191 million, was approved by the State House on a vote of 78 to 17. The Port of Shelton commissioners unanimously approved an amicable separation package with Port Executive Director John Dobson, who was placed on administrative leave at the beginning of the month. The decision officially releases Dobson from his duties at the port. Port Deputy Director Wendy Smith has been serving as interim port director. Mason County Commissioner Randy Netherland this week proposed limiting the number of times county commissioners can phone in to meetings, a move that fellow Commissioner Tim Sheldon says is aimed at him. Sheldon has served as county commissioner for 12 years and in the state Senate since 1997. Netherland admits his proposal was in part brought forth because Sheldon regularly calls in when the state legislature is in session in Olympia or for other reasons. By phoning into a meeting, commissioners can still vote on county business proposals and discuss issues via speakerphone. Commissioner Terry Jeffries also voiced her opposition to a commissioner regularly calling into a meeting. The proposed policy would also require at least 2 commissioners attend a meeting, which is required under the state open meetings law for a quorum to take any action. It would also require 14 days notice for any out-of-town meetings. With spring's arrival, the Washington State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists that studded tires must be removed by the last day in March. Under state law, driving with studded tires after tomorrow, March 31st, is a traffic infraction that could result in a $124 ticket from law enforcement. WSDOT will not be extending the studded tire deadline this year, but crews will continue to monitor roads, passes, and forecasts and work to clear any late season snow or ice. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
This is Doug Sample from Whitney Chevrolet. Taxes are on everyone's mind. Make the most of your tax refund at Whitney Chevrolet in Montesano, where the sales tax is lower than most places in the state. Plus, other dealers' factory costs are more because they roll in the cost of the advertising. We don't do that, but we do offer lifetime oil changes on every new and used vehicle. Stop by or visit WhitneyChev.com.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Sports that drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney's.
Well, the Mariners have been down in the desert for a few weeks now.
Goodbye baseball, onto the berm, Robbie Cadeau.
The vets are sounding good, and the rookies are looking to make the cut. Before too long, it will be opening day. And iFIBER ONE News Radio is your home for Seattle Mariners baseball all season long. You can listen on AM 1030 or FM 1033. The South Sound home for Mariners baseball this season is iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 or FM 1033.
Golden State Warriors now 6 wins away from history. Hi, everybody. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
Curry step back three. He banked it in. Straight on. That's not even fair.
The call on KNBR. Golden State sinks the Wizards. The Warriors now 67-7 on pace to break the Bulls' 72-10 clip for the best regular season record of all time. The Cavaliers resting LeBron James before the playoffs, and they blow a 20-point lead with the King on the bench.
One-on-one with Shumpert's got 4 fouls. He'll pull it for a 3. Got it! Big-time 3 for James Harden.
On KBME, Houston wins 106-100. LeBron looking frustrated on the sidelines as the Cavs let the lead slip away. The U.S. men's soccer team gets a crucial 4-0 win over Guatemala. The Americans were in jeopardy of not qualifying for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. This is ABC Sports. Reggie Jackson didn't leave Oklahoma City on the best of terms, and now the Pistons guard gets revenge on his former club.
Reggie crosses over. Reggie to the rim for a dunk. Beautiful high screen. Allowed Reggie to get right down Woodward Avenue.
As heard on WMGC, Detroit beats the Thunder 88-82. Jackson celebrated on the court at the end of the game. OKC guard Russell Westbrook not happy about his old teammates' antics.
Honestly, I think some real... I don't appreciate it.
The Bulls on the outside looking in as the 9th best team in the East. Jimmy Butler coming up big to keep Chicago in the playoff hunt.
Pull up, comes up shooting, got it from 10 feet right of the lane. Timeout Indiana with 3.7 seconds left. Onions, baby onions.
On WMVP, Bulls win 98-96 in Indiana. They're now 2 games back of the Pacers for the final playoff spot. There's only 2 teams left in the NIT. Valparaiso and George Washington will square off in the championship tomorrow night. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Now, from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Jeff Slakey.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Jeff Slakey on iFIBER ONE News Radio, 736. Foss jumped out to an early lead on the pitch, but the boys in red and white came fighting back behind 2 goals from junior midfielder Santi Lopez. The High Climbers took down Foss 3-1. Shelton will look to keep momentum rolling when they host Wilson tomorrow. Make sure to check out the website this afternoon, as Sports Director Sean Wells will have full video highlights from the big win, including an interview with Shelton head coach Jason Smith. Today, Sean will be covering the softball match versus Capital at MCRA, and tomorrow he will be covering that soccer game versus Wilson. Jan Gomes hit his 5th spring homer, drove in 3 runs, leading the Indians to a 4-1 victory over the Mariners last night. Our next Mariners game is today on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Mariners taking on the Indians of Cleveland, pregame at 5:55. Regular season starts Monday with an afternoon game against Texas, right here on AM 1030 and FM 103.3. In addition to the fast pitch at the Shelton High School fast pitch field, the boys baseball team heading to Lacey to take on Capital at the RAC, and also soccer going on, track as well, Foss at the Mount Tahoma High School, girls tennis at Shelton High School today, girls tennis. 7:38 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Checking the South Sounds forecast. Here's Carol Gardner on a beautiful Wednesday.
It is another gorgeous day. Cool to start, but it'll warm up to about 70. Same goes for tomorrow, maybe even a little warmer. Lots of sunshine right now at 37 in Shelton.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Good morning. I'm Carol Gardner along with Jeff Slakey, and we have a great show for you today. We're streaming audio, video this morning on iFIBER ONE News Radio. You can find us on Twitter at iFIBER1Radio.com or just iFIBER ONE Radio. I suppose there's no .com on Twitter. And you can search for us on Facebook at 1030 KMAS. Today on the show, we're going to have Transit Talk. That'll be coming up just in about a half an hour at 8:15. In addition to Mary Lynn's, we have some other headlines around the area. Governor Jay Inslee says the budget is a good compromise, and we have audio from both sides of the lawmakers talking about the deal. Legislature also okays vaping regulations, and we talked about that yesterday. Report, Boeing job cuts in Washington state could hit 10%, and endangered Puget Sound orcas might get personal health records. There's still talk about the man in the tree that was all over the world. And also about that tree cutting, that illegal tree cutting up in Seattle. There's more talk on that.
Tonight, the public hearing on the Shelton C Street landfill. It's at 5:30 to 8:30 at the Mason County PUD 3 building on Johns Prairie Road. I have a feeling, Carol, that this is going to be well attended. There's a lot of things going on with this Shelton C Street landfill. It is a chance for you to give verbal and written comments from 5:30 to 8:30 at 2621 East Johns Prairie Road in Shelton from 5:30 to 8:30 today. It's put on by the Department of Ecology, and again, it's about the Shelton C Street landfill. I was just going to talk about some of the work that's happening up on Lake Boulevard. Yeah. So what you were going to say too. Let's take a quick break here. Okay. When we take a break, we'll come back and update folks. This is for people living in the middle of that Lake Boulevard construction project. It's about to get real. I don't want to say complicated, but there's a lot of things that are happening starting today. All right, that's all coming up next. It's 7:41 on Daybreak.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Look for your free copy of Coffee News, available in restaurants throughout the South Sound and Mason County.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE News Radio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE News Radio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area, it's over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE News Radio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
.43 at iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Carol Gardner and I streaming online this morning at iFiber1newsradio.com. You can also watch the videos. The Shelton C Street landfill meeting is this evening from 5:30 to 8:30 on East Johns Prairie Road at the Mason County PUD 3 building. That's today, March 30th. Tomorrow, March 31st, they are starting some work there at the Lake Boulevard Pioneer Way.
Yeah, the city's contractor is going to be installing and curing concrete curbs and the gutters on Lake Boulevard between University and the city limits.
Mm-hmm.
The contractors are going to install the curb and gutters on the even-numbered houses first, and then they're going to switch to the odd-numbered side. And residents are asked to, if you live on the even side, if your number is an even number, you have to park across the street from their house because you won't be able to park in front of your house because they're going to be installing the curbs and gutters, and you won't have access to your driveway.
Huh.
So then when it goes on the other side, people will have to park on the other side, but then they also say it's going to take a while to cure, so you still won't have access to your driveway. It seems confusing. We'll have the full press release on our website, but you can also go to the city's website for the latest information. Also contact the city engineering department to find out that information, because hopefully they have signs posted up there.
I remember when they were working on the North Cliff Road, and they were doing that similar thing with the paving and the gutters and the curing, and that's where, you don't want to rush the curing process.
No, but they're lucky to have good weather. Don't you think? I mean,
city engineer Mike Michael is loving the weather.
Yeah. So, I mean, have you ever watched those shows where they build a house in a week and they put all the drywall and everything up?
I do see those shows.
You just wonder how well those houses stand up.
Well, I think
the test of time.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
I mean, 1 week to dry the mud on the drywall. And dry and do all that stuff. Where usually it takes days, and if the weather isn't cooperating, do they live in the painting?
I know what because they do the floors and everything.
Yeah,
a lot of that stuff is here's how I feel that those shows work. Like you're at the big boxed hardware store,
right?
And you see the camera crew, and they show up, and you're like, "Hey, you want us to crash your whatever
or backyard or
and then you say, yeah, come over. So then they'll come over. And it's not like the next day. They already have the plans and everything built. There has to be some good, you got to get the permits, I would imagine, and a lot of preparation
involved.
You
would imagine.
I only once have I seen a show where they it's a tell. It was like a sunny day when they were meeting, and then when the crew showed up, it was snowing. So that was the only time I've ever been able to tell. But they have to be able to pre-build a lot of these walls, like a prefab house.
Yeah, I don't know, because I personally would not want my house built that fast.
In a week. I wouldn't either. 7:46 here at iFiber One News Radio. Again, check out that story if you live there on Lake Boulevard or Pioneer Way during the improvements. Also, additionally, it's going to be loud during the daytime hours, 7 to 6 or so. So be aware of that. In addition to
the other loud noise.
The other loud noise on Monday is Sierra Pacific is going to start pounding in 500 pilings into the water to help to secure and start building their new high-tech facility.
Yeah.
It's going to be super cool to watch. It will be loud during daytime.
Yeah.
Gong.
It's going to be a lot of noise happening the next few weeks.
Yeah. But the weather's nice.
Earplugs.
Get some earplugs. 7:47 at iFiber1newsradio.com. Check out the website this morning. We've got some great features for you, including a story on the governor signing a bill to create steelhead license plates. We talked about that this morning, and I was looking at some of the different options. Now, I will go back and say that I used to have the Safeco one on my car, right? And I felt that it went to build Safeco. I could be wrong. And now that I look at special interests, they do have what they support. For example, the Seahawks one supports Invest Ed, so an investment in education.
Okay.
There's a breast cancer one for free breast cancer screening services, and the Bike Alliance of Washington. So you can get special interests license plates, including a Music Matters one. And this new one that they're talking about will have a very nice picture of a steelhead salmon, and I think it's a pretty sharp-looking license.
And so all these license plates, is there a flat fee, or do they have different prices?
There are different costs. Military and veteran ones, they don't have to pay some of the fees. Some of the organizations you do.
Does it tell you where your money is going?
Well, that's
'Cause, like
so
with the Mariners, when it told you where it went, and
that's
you
where I
weren't.
thought. So the Parks and Environment one, they've got a variety of very nice looking ones. You can get a bear, for example, goes to support Fish and Wildlife.
Okay.
So you can see the picture of the steelhead. I'd get that.
Yeah.
I'd get that
It's
one.
nice.
Although I would, if I had I saw in California license plate. It was a black license plate with just yellow lettering, and it looks sharp on black cars. I'd do that if I had a black
You got to
car.
get a black car first. And then you accessorize
How about if
with
I
your
get silver
license
plate, silver plates and yellow lettering? 7:48 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak with Jeff and Carol. Coming up on Monday the 4th, this upcoming Monday, is our first Mariners game. Spring regular season. This time it means something. Start counting. 162 games. We've got them for you here on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3, all around the sound. You can tune us in on those frequencies, and they come in great. So that's Monday. Monday morning, we start our first. Sports director Sean Wells is going to start picking up the sports reports for us on Daybreak. On the 11th, we have our first Mariner Monday ticket giveaway. And here's how it's going to work. Listen during Sean Wells' sports reports, Monday morning the 11th. He'll give a clue based on the previous game.
It's going to be a trick question, or?
I mean, it's not going to be impossible. It's not going to be an impossible question. It's basically those who have played Mariners trivia in the past with us here on iFIBER One News Radio knows that the questions are based on positive moments in previous games.
All right.
Let's just leave it at that. So that'll be playing through the sports report. Then at a specified time, which we will let you know, we'll play the Mariners theme music. You call into the studio line. You answer the question correctly, you win tickets. Boom. Just like that. No qualifying for a ticket giveaway. We're giving the tickets away Mondays, Mariner Monday, 20 weeks, 20 pairs of tickets right here on iFIBER1newsradio.com. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds fun. Mariner Mondays.
Win once per household per season.
I wonder what bobblehead we're going to do this year.
Well, I mean, I got the list of the tickets. I got the list that's part of the pocket schedules. You come down, pick up a pocket schedule to the studios.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Are you risking your health by eating expired foods? It's an in-depth look at what those package dates mean from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Wednesday, March 30th, the 90th day of the year. Notable birthdays include Celine Dion, Warren Beatty, and Eric Clapton, and a would-be assassin wounded President Reagan on this day in 1981. Expiration dates on food items can have a variety of meanings. Here's a quick rundown on what they mean. A best if used by date is just a recommendation for getting the highest quality, not a safety rule. But most items are perfectly fine a few days after this date. The sell by date is used by retailers for inventory purposes. An item past the sell date is by no means expired, and you'll occasionally see a guaranteed fresh by date. Again, it's just a recommendation for an item's peak quality. Item dates rarely reflect an item's safety or edibility. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more at almanac.com.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
$7:52 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. Jeff Slakey, Carol Gardner, and guests. All right, so I was just talking about Mariners trivia. Mariners Monday. First game that we're giving away a pair of tickets for is the April 30th Kansas City Royals game. And that is the Root Sports Nelson Cruz Boomstick Bobblehead Night.
Well, what does that mean?
Wait, hold on. Sorry.
All right. What does that mean exactly?
Well, what do you think it means? Nelson Cruz's boomstick. That's
Yeah.
his deal. His bat, they call it the Boomstick. Probably after Army of Darkness. Great movie. Anyways, Nelson Cruz's Boomstick Bobblehead Night. So that'll be the first of the pairs of tickets to give away.
Sounds good.
Monday the 11th.
Any fireworks happening?
Let me look through this.
Okay, you should look through the
Tell me
schedule.
what's going on.
All right, I'll tell you what's going on. So we're having Mary Lynn Foster's news coming up in about 10 minutes or so. She's going to talk about the end of the special session, which we've been hearing a lot about. Yay, it's over for now.
Good for them. Start politicking.
That's right. Port of Shelton approves separation package. Commissioner wants to limit phone-in meeting attendance. That's the county commissioner. And set of tires need to be off tomorrow.
I haven't even really heard a lot of studded tires because we had such a
mild
winter.
We had a mild winter
normally
down here. So, yeah, I know. It's hard to say. Plus, a lot of the tires are so much better now that I guess people aren't using studded tires as much.
Oh, I don't even, I never heard that.
I'm just
this is what you're saying.
Theorizing that. Okay. That's what I'm saying. We also have a transit talk guest coming up in about 15 minutes or 20 minutes, 8:15. Talk about what's happening with Mason Transit. And then later on the show, we're going to have Port of Call with Commissioner Dick Taylor from the port.
Yeah. Port of Shelton approves that separation package against former Executive Director John Dobson. 7:55 here now, and a good morning to you. A reminder that the C Street landfill meeting is tonight at the Mason PUD 3 East Johns Prairie Road location from 5:30 to 8:30. At the hearing, you can submit comments about the C Street landfill cleanup verbally or in writing. Time limit on these verbal comments, so if you've got a lot to express, a written statement probably better for that. And that'll be again tonight with a question and answer period and all sorts of information for you from 5:30 to 8:30 on the Shelton C Street landfill. 7:55 at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and a calculable waste of time and services. That's what authorities say about the 25-hour saga of Man in Tree. Cody Lee Miller, formerly charged Monday with malicious mischief and assault after he climbed to the top of a 90-foot tree last week. It's the tree downtown Seattle, right in front of Macy's that they light up every year for holidays. Remained there for 25 hours. Police tried to coax him down. He, I guess, brought up some apples because he was throwing them at people. Drama sparked intense interest on social media. Twitter accounts. Man in Tree was trending. Court documents say the standoff caused $8,000 in damage just to the tree. Scheduled to be arraigned on the 11th, being held on $50,000 bail. If he makes bail, no contact with that tree. That's what the judge said.
That is funny. No contact with that tree.
150 trees are down in a public West Seattle green belt. And Seattle City Attorney Pete Holmes said the city is mulling criminal charges because of this. He's asked police to investigate. He's also pursuing civil remedies. Lawyers for a homeowner on the block called the cutting a mistake, saying his client and other neighbors hired a landscape business to top and prune some trees. That's what they said. Oh, we're just going to top and prune some trees to improve their views. There's 150 trees that are gone. Oh, by the way, it's a known landslide zone. Clear-cut area considered environmentally critical.
That's crazy. So a judge has approved a bid by Albertsons to take over the remaining Hagen grocery stores, bringing the whole Hagen's bankruptcy proceedings to a close. Albertsons is going to pay about $106 million for 29 stores in Washington and Oregon that were owned by the Bellingham-based company. And Bellingham Herald reports the U.S. bankruptcy judge, Kevin Gross, has signed an order approving the sale, and that was on Tuesday. Albertsons spokesman said in a written statement the company is pleased with the court approval. He said Albertsons expects to close on the deal in the next several weeks. Hagen bought 146 stores in 2014 when Safeway and Albertsons merged, but Hagen failed to convert the stores successfully. Albertsons says it's planned to keep the Hagen name on 15 stores in Washington. So there's the Hagen's in Olympia. It's still going to be called Hagen's, but it's going to be Albertsons. I wonder what inside changes are going to happen.
Well, I haven't even been inside an Albertsons in a long time, but I believe their color scheme is blue and white. And the Hagen traditionally is more of a orange, northwestern, meaning forest green and browns.
I'm thinking, brown and orange, I suppose, Hagen a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be, because Hagen just remodeled that store.
Yeah, from Top Foods.
Okay, it's been a couple of years now, but it's really quite nice in there.
Not to have to go through that whole change again.
And I haven't really been in an Albertsons, and I don't know how nice they are on the inside. Guess we'll see.
7:58 here at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. It is Daybreak on AM 1030 and FM 1033. I got to find out what this story is. Police in Muncie, Indiana. Already, I know this story is going to be intense. Police in Muncie, Indiana, arrest a man who allegedly stabbed his brother. ABC's Ryan Burrows reports on this story.
Probably not a huge surprise. Police say the fracas started Monday when brothers Rodney and Randy Gilliam were drinking alcohol. Rodney allegedly grabbing a three-pronged fork and attacking Randy, stabbing him and causing lacerations to his head and a puncture wound to his left arm. Police later found the weapon. Rodney now faces charges of aggravated battery. Ryan Burrow, ABC News.
Doesn't mention what the altercation was about, does it?
No.
It was over a pot roast.
Alleged altercation.
Allegedly stabbed his brother with a fork over a pot roast. So no matter
were they eating?
No matter what you got going on in your life, at least you and your brother are not fighting over a pot roast.
Did anybody have that happen over Easter?
Yikes. Tell you what.
Get the old fork.
ABC News reporting this morning, and news in a couple of moments, a big 60-foot deep, 100-foot wide sinkhole has opened up in a mobile home park.
Yeah.
Tarpon Springs, Florida.
It just doesn't, the picture just doesn't do it justice. 60 foot deep. Just looks like somebody just put a big giant footprint and sinked down.
Yeah, like a brontosaurus walked by.
Yeah.
And did a step.
Exactly.
Wow.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Donald Trump is defiantly defending his campaign manager who's been charged with battery for allegedly manhandling a female reporter at a Florida rally.
They said, I should fire him. That's because they're weak, ineffective people. They fire. They want to be politically correct. I don't want to be politically correct. I want to be correct.
Trump suggests a countersuit may be filed. Asked what he does to stay fit, Trump said he doesn't go to a gym, saying making America great again is good exercise. Drivers who have trouble seeing the road at night now have a good excuse. Bad headlights. ABC's David Curley tells us one safety agency is taking a dim view of them.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety even goes as far as calling the results dismal. And that's important because nearly half of all accidents happen at dusk or in the dark. There are government regulations about how much light a bulb puts out, but no requirement for how it performs when it's installed on a car, how far the light should actually reach.
Caring for an Alzheimer's patient takes a heavy toll physically and financially, a new study finds. Many caregivers are forced to dip into their savings to pay the bills. ABC's Jim Ryan has one story.
Chris Donham was in her late 40s when her husband Mark started noticing the symptoms.
Not being able to track money anymore or being very confused about dates.
He poured himself into caring for his wife as she battled early onset Alzheimer's. New research shows that caregivers increasingly are sacrificing their own basic necessities to help loved ones dealing with dementia. Donham finally realized,
if I don't take care of myself, someone would have to take care of both of us.
The Alzheimer's Association offers resources to caregivers looking for balance in their lives. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Bad news for ice cream lovers. A vanilla bean shortage is threatening to push up ice cream prices this season. Having trouble getting up in the morning? A British inventor may have your solution. He's invented a cross between a duvet and a suit called the Suvet. You simply put your arms through the sleeves, roll out of bed, and take the comfort of the quilt with you. This is ABC News.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-613-4810. That's 1-800-613-4810. 1-800-613-4810. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
ABC Radio presents Made in America with David Muir. Brought to you by Advance Auto Parts Speedworks Rewards. No cards, no points, no nonsense. Details at advanceautoparts.com.
Tabasco. It's the red and green bottle, a staple in grocery stores, made on Avery Island, Louisiana. Produced for almost 150 years.
The same day the peppers are picked, they are ground into mash.
From there, it's right into places like New York's Blue Smoke Restaurant, a key ingredient in Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeot's hot wings. Are perfect. This is World News Tonight's David Muir. That's Made in America.
Example will continue to require periodic approval by Parliament. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Lady Gaga is teaming up with Vice President Joe Biden to throw the spotlight on assaults on college campuses. The two will speak at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, April 7th as part of the administration's It's On Us initiative to bring awareness to sexual assaults. Biden calls the singer brave and sincere, saying she's a survivor who has the courage to speak out, and I know how tough that can be. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. After 20 days in special session, Washington state lawmakers adjourned last night after passing a 2016 supplemental budget. 35th District Representative Dan Griffey told Daybreak yesterday that he was 99% sure that it would happen and shared some of what's in the compromise budget.
Yes, we did come up with a budget deal. I think it's good for Washington. It doesn't spend all of our rainy day fund. It uses a rainy day fund for the wildfires. We're going to put some money into low-income housing. We're going to put some money into K-3 classroom size reduction, which is we did put a considerable amount of money in last biennium, last session, the beginning of the biennium, and then we're going to put some more in there.
The supplemental operating budget, which increases spending by $191 million, was approved by the State House on a vote of 78-17. The Port of Shelton commissioners unanimously approved an amicable separation package with Port Executive Director John Dobson, who was placed on administrative leave at the beginning of the month. The decision officially releases Dobson from his duties at the port. Port Deputy Director Wendy Smith has been serving as interim port director. Mason County Commissioner Randy Netherland this week proposed limiting the number of times county commissioners can phone in to meetings, a move that fellow Commissioner Tim Sheldon says is aimed at him. Sheldon has served as county commissioner for 12 years and in the state Senate since 1997. Netherland admits his proposal was in part brought forth because Sheldon regularly calls in when the state legislature is in session in Olympia or for other reasons. By phoning into a meeting, commissioners can still vote on county business proposals and discuss issues via speakerphone. Commissioner Terry Jeffries also voiced her opposition to a commissioner regularly calling into a meeting. The proposed policy would also require at least 2 commissioners attend a meeting, which is required under the state open meetings law for a quorum to take any action. It would also require 14 days notice for any out-of-town meetings. With spring's arrival, the Washington State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists that studded tires must be removed by the last day in March. Under state law, driving with studded tires after tomorrow, March 31st, is a traffic infraction that could result in a $124 ticket from law enforcement. WSDOT will not be extending the studded tire deadline this year, but crews will continue to monitor roads, passes, and forecasts and work to clear any late season snow or ice. For iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
It's about your life and your money. It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
The more generous you are, the more attractive you are. Generous people are attractive. They're just nicer people. You ever been around somebody that never gives anything and is selfish? Every time you see them coming, what do they want something. They're not bringing something to the party. They're taking something from the party. All they talk about is themselves and what they can get from the interaction. Those aren't generous people. Hi, this is Dave Ramsey. Tune into my show weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable. Affordable refrigeration, cooling, and heating. Whether residential, commercial, or food service equipment, your satisfaction is of utmost importance. And with over 30 years of experience, Arch Mechanical Service is backed by a 30-day labor guarantee. Serving South and West Puget Sound, there is no need to pay for one of those big city technicians. Call 360-229-2139. Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable.
Now, from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Jeff Slakey.
Good morning to you, 8:08. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner on Daybreak, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Checking sports news, and it was a big win for the high climbers yesterday. Foss jumped out to an early lead on the pitch, but the boys in red and white came fighting back behind 2 goals from junior midfielder Santi Lopez. The high climbers took down Foss 3-1. Shelton looks to keep momentum rolling when they host Wilson tomorrow. Be sure to check out the website this afternoon. Sports Director Sean Wells will have full video highlights from the big win, including an interview with head coach Jason Smith. Today, Sean will be covering the Shelton softball game versus Capital, and the Shelton soccer game tomorrow versus Wilson is on his sports docket, and the weather will keep us going sports scheduling all spring long, at least for the next week or so. Jan Gomes hit his 5th spring homer and drove in 3 runs. The Indians 4-1 victory over the Mariners last night. Just a few days left to figure out what's going on with the Mariners as regular season baseball gets underway Monday. We got it for you right here on iFIBER ONE Newsradio. There is a game today. We'll have it for you. 5:55 is when our coverage starts. Speaking of that South Sound forecast, here's Carol Gardner.
Good morning. It's another gorgeous day. It's a little cool right now, 39, but it is going to warm up to about 70. Same goes for tomorrow, maybe even a little warmer. Right now, it's 39 in Shelton.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It's 8:11 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Just like he and Carol Gardner. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Jeff.
It was very nice out there yesterday. My goodness, could not even believe. I don't think I even saw a cloud in the sky later in the day. Oh, man, it was very nice. And spring definitely has sprung. The Mariners are getting ready to head back up from Peoria, and people are getting out and about, looking at the recreation pages and the environmental pages on iFiber1newsradio.com. Lots of opportunities to get out there and enjoy the outdoors. 8:12, the governor says the budget deal is a good compromise. And in the next hour or so, after our big interviews, including Transit Talk, which is next, and Port of Call at 8:45, we're looking to get some more information in, including some audio from the lawmakers on both sides of the issue, talking about the deal yesterday, about 11 o'clock last night, all wrapped up. Yesterday, we talked about some vaping regulations that the legislature might take up as well. They okayed those. And a report that Boeing's could be cutting jobs in Washington, could hit up to 10%. They've had some cuts already, and those stories will be on our website later today at iFiber1newsradio.com. It's 8:12 right now. Take a break, come back, have a little transit talk. You can hop on the bus on a nice day like this. Just enjoy looking out the window. You know what they say? Relax. There's more than one way to get there. That's what they say.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
The
Attention music lovers, in the mood for a little rock and roll this spring?
Come catch Heart by Heart live at Lucky Eagle Casino April 15th and 16th.
They'll play your favorite Heart tunes, and your $15 tickets include $10 in free play and $5 credit at our new Craft House Sports Bar.
So come enjoy an evening of great music, food, and fun for a song.
Heart by Heart, April 15th and 16th at Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel, I-5 to exit 88, Rochester, Washington, where you belong.
The new Money Monopoly game is at McDonald's. We're giving away 100 million food and cash prizes. That means 1 in 4 wins. Just peel for a chance to win instant prizes like $100 cash, or collect pieces for your chance to win $1 million. 100 million prizes. 1 in 4 wins. You could be the one. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. No purchase necessary. Open to residents of U.S. ends 4/25. Odds of winning in-restaurant game approximately 1 in 4. Mostly food prizes. $1 million prize awarded is $50,000 per year for 20 years without interest. See official rules at participating McDonald's or playmcd.com for more details. Void where prohibited.
Introducing McDonald's Signature Crafted Recipes. We're talking bold sandwiches featuring authentic ingredients.
What?
You know it, like the guacamole made with Haas avocados in the Pico guacamole recipe.
Wow.
Barbecue sauce made with Vidalia onions in the sweet barbecue bacon recipe.
Nice.
And bacon with maple seasoning in the maple bacon Dijon recipe.
Amazing.
Try them on chicken or beef.
I want to try them all.
It's a new way to enjoy McDonald's. Create your signature crafted sandwich today at participating McDonald's.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER One News Radio. Nonprofits post your upcoming events on iFiber1newsradio.com. The Mason County Senior Activity Center is looking for volunteers. Van drivers for day trips, cooks for Friday lunches, hosts to make sure the coffee's hot throughout the day, and much, much more. If you have office skills, those are also needed. Call 426-7374 for more information. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
8:15 on a Wednesday morning, and a good morning to you. It's Daybreak here on iFIBER One News Radio. Christina Kramer in studio with us for our weekly transit talk.
Good morning, Jeff and Carol.
Good morning.
I was just saying how nice it would be today. Hop on the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Sit out, just look out the window.
It's a great day for that.
Relax. There's more than one way to get there.
How nice. You could work for us. You looking for another job there, Jeff?
I know all about those transportation slogans.
Yeah, on a day like this, I would say Route 8 is probably one of my most favorite routes to ride.
How long would a Route 8 circle take?
2.5 hours.
Where do we go on that trip?
Brennan.
Whoa.
Triton Cove State Park is the last spot that it stops. So you feasibly could pack yourself a picnic, get on the bus, get off at Triton Cove State Park, sit down by the water, eat your picnic, and then come back in the afternoon. Route 8 runs up twice a day. So it runs at 8 in the morning and then it comes back 2 in the afternoon. That is perfect picnic timing.
Yeah.
And it is all up 101 through Hoodsport, Lilywop, past the Hamma oysters, and it's beautiful. I've gotten some great pictures just sitting from the window, actually, and looking out on the water. So that would be a route I would do today for sure. Route 6 is also nice just because you do have that 101 bit and along the water. And if you're wanting a little more hustle and bustle, then you can ride the bus to Olympia and go downtown. I think this weekend, the Olympia Farmers Market opens.
Is that this weekend?
Thursday.
Spring already?
Yeah, we're spring has sprung.
Wait a second. I'm going to go back to this Route 6 along 101. Tell me about that part of the route.
Well, if it's not an express, then it's going to go through downtown Shelton and it's going to get on the highway off of, the road that goes by Dells. Is that Highway 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I know my geography. And then you're going to travel 101 from Highway 3 all the way to Mud Bay Road, and that's where you're going to get off there.
Oh, okay.
So there's, it's my commute also. So there's this one part along 101 and that when you look out across the water, especially sometimes in the morning in the spring like this, where you've got the sun, but you've got that low fog. Oh, it's just gorgeous.
At the 101 and the old 101?
Yeah. Yep,
you should
exactly.
drive by there during the sunrise.
Oh, well, that's your job. You're the one up that early, not me. Although I think we have a route at 5 in the morning. When's sunrise right now? You can probably tell me that.
It's about 6:30.
Oh, so you could use Route 6 for sunrise because our first one's at 5:30.
Can't you use some of these routes as a jumping off point to take the loop all the way around the peninsula?
Yes. And then actually, that's a really great segue to bring up our Summer Youth Pass program. So we partner with Kalalam Transit, Jefferson Transit, and Grays Harbor Transit, and we offer this Summer Youth Pass that starts Memorial Day to Labor Day. So it's a 3-month pass, and it's good on all 4 transit agencies.
Wow.
So yeah, really fantastic as far as if you're, a family that you want to be going on some sort of adventure. This is a great adventure that you could do over a weekend or a couple days. I will say that most of us don't run on Sunday. So, that's why it's a good vacation kind of thing. And I believe the loop, and if you're not going to get off and do anything else, you can do it in a day. But if you want to be taking adventures, you might be looking at a couple days and maybe staying somewhere along the way. But yes, you can do the loop.
Yeah.
What's the ages on that? Youth Pass?
Youth Pass is under 18. So 6 to 17, because you have to be under 6, you ride for free. So, and even if you're not using those other agencies for whatever reason, it's still a great deal because you're getting a bus pass for 3 months. And our bus pass for a youth pass is $18 a month. I will say that right now the price for the summer youth pass is $13. But we are looking at raising that price. It's lower than even our monthly bus pass. So that's something that we'll be going to our board about. And then I believe possibly the public also, because anytime we raise a price on something, I think we have to go to the public for a public hearing. And that's just so it can, kind of pay for itself a little bit. But even if it was $18, 3-month pass for $18. So if you have teenagers, this is for parents out there who have teenagers maybe that are wanting to get to Olympia and back and you don't want to be driving them, here's a 3-month pass, put them on the bus, go have fun, I'll see you later kind of thing.
That's how, when I was a kid, I had, for years, had those summer passes.
Yeah.
Take the bus 80 to the mall, take the bus 13 to Tumwater High School.
Oh, yeah, 13 was my bus.
So that's how it works. You take the 12, you take the 13, you get to the high school for summer school. Yeah. And it really...
Not summer school.
Well, for me, it was summer school. And for me, and then it really instilled a good sense of... you're out there by yourself a little bit. You're riding the bus drivers will help you.
Yeah, you're never really by yourself, though. Well, that's the thing.
There are other people on the bus.
Parents, I think, sometimes are really wary about...
There's nothing to worry about. No, there's nothing to worry about, especially with the great drivers that Basin Transit has.
Great drivers. There's other people on the bus. Other people help regulate.
Yeah.
All of our buses have cameras. I started riding the bus by myself when I was 12 years old in Olympia. I grew up in a very large family. We only had one car. We were poor. And so getting some of the places I needed to use the bus. So my mom taught me at age 7. I started riding the bus with my mom and my other siblings. And then so by 12, it was like, all right. Yeah. Now, mind you, of course, there are parameters around it. I couldn't be riding at dark at that time. I knew most of the drivers. They knew me. They knew where I should be going and where I shouldn't, kind of thing. I might be like, when I was hitting that 16 and I'd seen some drivers, are you supposed to be getting off here, Christina? Yeah, sure.
But it gave you a sense of independence.
It did.
Before you were able to
it did.
drive
In fact,
yourself.
for me personally, I didn't get my driver's license till I was 18. I didn't get my first car till I was 20. And, we like to say in the transit world that riding those, it builds community. It really does. In the sense that, you're meeting people from all walks of life. You really are. And you can't necessarily put shutters on either to what's going on in the community when you're riding a bus. If you're never getting out there outside of your circle of friends, family, then you might not have a realistic perspective. It might be a little skewed. So, and I do want to bring up some things that are coming up. We were kind of talking about public hearings in regards to changes. So we do have some proposed service changes coming up. They're very minor, but we're having a public hearing, 2 of them, one in South Mason County, one in North Mason County, just because it's part of our transparency and getting the public involved and making sure that they're aware and getting their opinion. And The first public hearing will be April 12th, Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. at the Transit Community Center here downtown Shelton. The second one will be April 14th, 5:30 p.m. in Belfair at the Timberland Library. And the proposed changes are some rerouting of Route 4, which is the Belfair local loop. It just serves the Belfair area. And part of that is in response to the opening of the senior center up there at the hub. So we're going to reroute our bus so that it serves that senior center, pulls in there. Another is that we had, when we made our major changes last year, we had changed the Route 4 to kind of alternate its path so that it was serving the post office. Well, the latest route time that serves the post office, the post office is closed. There's no ridership really on it. And so we're going to propose to just end that part and end it at Bill Hunter Park. There's also a lack of ridership on a new area that we had put on Route 4, which was Matthew and Barbara Boulevard. And so that we're proposing to reroute it so that it's no longer serving that area. And then also going to have it serve the library and Harrison Medical Center at 10:05 and 12:05. So basically shifting where we're taking away and adding to higher ridership areas. Route 5, we've already rerouted Route 5 and Route 9 off of Laurel and onto Birch up here as you're going up Olympic Highway North off to the right back in that neighborhood. And we did that due to just better service, and we've gotten some feedback from the community, but we want to make that permanent now. So. And then Route 9, we're going to propose changing the 8:10 departure time, which is the very first departure time, to 7:45. And the reason why is so that it will make a positive connection with Route 6, 7, and 8. Oh, yeah. Route 9, when it was originally created, it was created with the intent of expanding service to the Capitol Hill area as well as providing service out to the senior center. And Route 9 is a great example of, what is that? There's the female anthropologist, Margaret Mead, I think is her name, and she had it's a very famous quote, and it's about how a group of people, if they're committed, no matter what size, if they're a small group of people, they're committed that they can create change. And our Route 9 is really a great example of that. And the reason I'm telling people this is because we have public hearings often, but we don't have a lot of attendance. And I think because people sometimes forget that they can make change happen. And with our Route 9, we had a group of seniors from the senior center and one resident from the Capitol Hill area that showed up to board meetings for probably over a year on and off and wrote letters and were like, we want service, we want service, we want service. We want service. Give us service. We want service. Hey, hi, we're here. We want service. Hi, we're the seniors and we want service. So, and we heard them. Of course we did. How could you not? And what happened was Route 9 was created. We expanded service and they got service. Well, initially, that's who we were responding to. Well, now that the service has been happening and it's been there for about a year, it's like, okay, there's people writing it who may have not asked for it, but now that it's there, they're like, hey, we can use this. And we've recognized that there's need for people to connect to some other routes to get other places. And so we got feedback from people who are like, hey, I need to be able to connect. Well, guess what? Here we are proposing changes so we can meet those needs. So basically what I'm saying, people, is participate in your democracy.
And because it works.
And those public meetings are going to be April
12th and April 14th.
Okay.
April 12th is here in Shelton at the Transit Community Center, 5:30. April 14th, Belfair Library at 5:30 also. You can also find this information on our website later today. I haven't posted it yet. You're the first to hear, listeners.
And we'll
hot off the press.
We'll link it from our Daybreak video audio.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
Thank you for looking it up. It is the quote.
Christina Kramer from Mason Transit during this week's Transit Talk. And get out there, ride the bus, enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. And we'll talk with you next week.
All right, thank you.
8:26 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
It's time again for Fiddle Fest. State and national champs with a variety of old-time, Celtic, and bluegrass fiddling. 2 big shows Saturday, April 2nd at 1 and again at 6 at the Performing Arts Center at Shelton High School. Tickets are $10 at the door, $5 for students. Proceeds go to the Shelton Music Program and Youth Music Scholarships. For more information, go to sheltonfiddlefest.org. Brought to you by the Washington Old Time Fiddlers Association.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
8:28 at iFIBER One News Radio. Good morning to you. I'm just like you, along with Carol Gardner in the phone line. We've got Karen Shake. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy sunny Wednesday.
It is a beautiful day out here.
It is a little chilly, but my windows aren't frozen today, so that's a good thing.
Hey, that's a small victory.
It is a small victory.
It's 37 right now, looking like maybe 70 today.
Oh, hallelujah.
And 70 over the next couple days, perhaps.
Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. That's why we live here.
We got some great highs in the temperature. Yes. Are there great highs on Wall Street?
Why, yes, they are. U.S. stocks are trading higher, set to benefit for a second session from a cautious stance on interest rate hikes, expressed by Federal Reserve Chairman Janet Yellen. In economic news, the ADP employment report showed less of a decline in employment than expected for March, while mortgage applications last week declined by less than the previous week. Investors now turn their attention to the more comprehensive non-farm payroll data set to be released on Friday. U.S. bond prices are trending lower. So far this morning in the S&P 500, the best performing sector is technology, while the worst performing sector is telecom. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 137 points at 17,770. The NASDAQ Composite Index is up 36 points, and the Standard & Poor's 500 Index is up 15 points. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 230 million shares being traded, and advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 5-2 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is down $15.72 to $1,226.60. The spot price of silver is down 11 cents to $15.25, and crude oil prices are up $1.02 to $39.30. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.68%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.85%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is up $4.27, Costco is up $2.35, Boeing is down $1.71, Starbucks is up 4 cents, and Microsoft is up 47 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton. And if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590. And daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
It's 8:30 here now at iFIBER One News Radio. The latest in local news brought to you this time by Fred Holmes Tree Service.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. After 20 days in special session, Washington state lawmakers adjourned last night after passing a 2016 supplemental budget. 35th District Representative Dan Griffey told Daybreak yesterday that he was 99% sure that it would happen and shared some of what's in the compromise budget.
Yes, we did come up with a budget deal. I think it's good for Washington. It doesn't spend all of our rainy day funds. It uses a rainy day fund for the wildfires. We're going to put some money into low-income housing. We're going to put some money into K-3 classroom size reduction, which is we did put a considerable amount of money in last biennium, last session, the beginning of the biennium, and then we're going to put some more in there.
The supplemental operating budget, which increases spending by $191 million, was approved by the State House on a vote of 78 to 17. The Port of Shelton commissioners unanimously approved an amicable separation package with Port Executive Director John Dobson, who was placed on administrative leave at the beginning of the month. The decision officially releases Dobson from his duties at the port. Port Deputy Director Wendy Smith has been serving as interim port director. Mason County Commissioner Randy Netherland this week proposed limiting the number of times county commissioners can phone in to meetings, a move that fellow Commissioner Tim Sheldon says is aimed at him. Sheldon has served as county commissioner for 12 years and in the state Senate since 1997. Netherland admits his proposal was in part brought forth because Sheldon regularly calls in when the state legislature is in session in Olympia or for other reasons. By phoning into a meeting, commissioners can still vote on county business proposals and discuss issues via speakerphone. Commissioner Terry Jeffries also voiced her opposition to a commissioner regularly calling into a meeting. The proposed policy would also require at least 2 commissioners attend a meeting, which is required under the state open meetings law for a quorum to take any action. It would also require 14 days notice for any out-of-town meetings. With spring's arrival, the Washington State Department of Transportation is reminding motorists that studded tires must be removed by the last day in March. Under state law, driving with studded tires after tomorrow, March 31st, is a traffic infraction that could result in a $124 ticket from law enforcement. WSDOT will not be extending the studded tire deadline this year, but crews will continue to monitor roads, passes, and forecasts and work to clear any late season snow or ice. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Marilyn Foster.
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Just a note to express our appreciation for restoring our faith in a handshake. You did what you said you would, and that's all anyone can expect.
We truly appreciate the work that was done. And your son Ryan is a wonderful representative of your company. Thank you again for making the gutters clean and our roof moss resistant.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety. And we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Golden State Warriors now 6 wins away from history. Hi, everybody. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
Curry, step back three. Banked it in. Straight on. That's not even fair.
The call on KNBR, Golden State sinks the Wizards. The Warriors now 67-7 on pace to break the Bulls' 72-10 clip for the best regular season record of all time. The Cavaliers resting LeBron James before the playoffs, and they blow a 20-point lead with the King on the bench.
One-on-one with Shumpert's got 4 fouls. He'll pull it for a 3. Got it! Big-time 3 for James Harden.
On KBME, Houston wins 106-100. LeBron looking frustrated on the sidelines as the Cavs let the lead slip away. The U.S. men's soccer team gets a crucial 4-0 win over Guatemala. The Americans were in jeopardy of not qualifying for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. This is ABC Sports. Reggie Jackson didn't leave Oklahoma City on the best of terms, and now the Pistons guard gets revenge on his former club.
Reggie crosses over. Reggie to the rim for a dunk. Beautiful high screen. Allowed Reggie to get right down Woodward Avenue.
As heard on WMGC, Detroit beats the Thunder 88-82. Jackson celebrated on the court at the end of the game. OKC guard Russell Westbrook not happy about his old teammates' antics.
Honestly, I think some real I don't appreciate it.
The Bulls on the outside looking in as the 9th best team in the East. Jimmy Butler coming up big to keep Chicago in the playoff hunt.
Pull up, comes up shooting, got it from 10 feet right of the lane. Timeout Indiana with 3.7 seconds left. Onions, baby onions.
On WMVP, Bulls win 98-96 in Indiana. They're now 2 games back of the Pacers for the final playoff spot. There's only 2 teams left in the NIT. Valparaiso and George Washington will square off in the championship tomorrow night. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
Now, from the all-new Gillis Auto Center Sports Desk, here's Jeff Slakey.
Foss jumped out to an early lead on the pitch, but the boys in red and white came fighting back. Good morning, I'm Jeff Slakey. It's 8:36. Behind 2 goals from junior midfielder Santi Lopez, the High Climbers took down Foss 3-1. Shelton will look to keep momentum rolling when they host Wilson this Thursday. Make sure to check out our website this afternoon as Sports Director Sean Wells will have full video highlights from the big win, including an interview with Shelton head coach Jason Smith. Sean's going to be at the softball game today against Capital, and tomorrow he will cover that Wilson-Shelton soccer game. Jan Gomes hit his 5th spring homer and drove in 3 runs, leading the Cleveland Indians to a 4-1 victory over the Seattle Mariners last night. Our next Mariners game is today on iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Mariners take on the Cleveland Indians, the pregame at 5:55. Regular season starts Monday with an afternoon game against Texas, right here on AM 1030 and FM 1033. 53 sled dogs and 4 mushers who competed in the Iditarod are now camping on Nisqually tribal land. Reports are Norwegian musher Tore Albrechtsen said the original plan was to fly home from Anchorage after the Iditarod, but that fell apart when cargo plane wasn't available. Albrechtsen says instead the mushers crated the 4-dog sled teams and traveled south. They all hopped in a U-Haul. As soon as I read this, do you remember the end of Home Alone when the mom and John Candy are in the U-Haul truck and the band is playing music the whole time?
I have to say, no, I don't.
You don't remember that?
No.
That was part of the end of Home Alone.
I haven't seen that movie for
It's been a long time.
decades.
But that's the first thing that popped in my head, that there's these, the mushers and the dogs, they're all in the back of the U-Haul, all having a grand old time. They stopped in Nisqually because Carol found out that they were looking for open area, open land, if you will, around SeaTac, and there wasn't any.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to put there's 4 teams of dogs.
That's a lot of equipment, probably.
It's a lot of dogs.
Probably at least 50 dogs, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So they needed to get them out somewhere.
Yeah. And there was nothing large enough to accommodate.
Yeah, they're not from here that they could find, so they just sort of were looking around. So they headed farther down, and then they found a place near Nisqually, so they sort of camped out, and then they sort of got told that they really couldn't be there. And then somebody from the tribe came up and said, hey, we got a ranch, some area, some space, and took them out there, and everybody's all happy.
Cool. And it's pretty cool. They're looking to fly out today back to Europe. 8:40 now, and taking a look at the South Sounds forecast, here is Carol.
Talk about flying out today. That'd be awesome. Sitting in your plane seat, looking at all that sunshine.
I'm not leaving this.
Pacific Northwest.
I ain't leaving this. It's going to be
If
70
you had
today.
to. They say it's going to get to 70 today. Starting out cool, though, right now. It's only almost 40 degrees. It's just been warming up slowly. We will reach about 70 today. Same goes for tomorrow. Probably a little warmer, and then probably a little warmer than Friday. So enjoy our little tease of summer. I'm not going to say anything else about that.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Morning to you. It's 8:40 now at iFIBER ONE News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey along with Carol Gardner. Carol, we got a port of call coming up in a few moments. Sounds like Dick Taylor and Wendy are out there.
It sounds like it. Having fun with the people in the lobby.
Yeah, sure. We'll get them on the air in just a... Tonight from 5:30 to 8:30 is the Shelton C Street landfill public hearing. After receiving several requests, the Washington State Department of Ecology will host a formal hearing on Shelton's C Street landfill, and you are invited to join tonight from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Mason County PUD 3 building, 2621 East Johns Prairie Road in Shelton. At the hearing, you'll be able to submit comments either verbally or in writing. There is a time limit to the verbal comments so they can get as many people in as they can. So if you've got a lot to express, succinct, if you can, in front of the mic, or write it down. It all gets put part in their public file. And that, again, is tonight from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Mason County PUD 3 building on East Johns Prairie Road. Also, Friday is going to be the groundbreaking for the 25th home for Mason County's Habitat for Humanity. And it's going to be in the city limits of Shelton. Yesterday, we talked with Executive Director Marty Crow about where I and Washington is the corner, just up the road from their store, which has got a lot of great stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're taking advantage of the recent reduction in fees that the city commission put forth. They've been talking about it for a few months. They got that all passed, I think earlier this week, or was it last week? Well, that doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. They got it through. Habitat's taking those reductions, building the 25th home. Pretty cool stuff.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Washington Health Plan Finder offers many health plan options to meet a diversity of needs. And as your needs change with marriage, family, or other life-changing events, you can change your health plan too. In an effort to make sure everyone is well covered, Mason General Hospital provides a service to help register people with the plan that suits their needs. Simply go online to masongeneral.com and click on Washington Health Plan Finder to browse the various plans available. Then call Mason General's project supervisor, Susanna Lopez, at 432-7766.
Mason General Hospital and Family of Clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and Family of Clinics.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat for more information. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, baseball fans, it's that time of year again to join iFIBER One News Radio for Seattle Mariners baseball. Baseball is part of the fabric of summertime in the Northwest, and with people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities like camping, fishing, hiking, and boating, the only place to listen to the Seattle Mariners is on iFIBER One News Radio. People ask what they remember about a business when they have a need, and they always remember the name that they hear, the one that is most relevant in their mind. Advertising makes your business relevant and part of the community. Your business can be part of the Mariners broadcast each day or each inning of every game this summer by signing up now. Any business that signs up now to advertise with the Mariners gets up to 300 free scheduled magnets. Call iFIBER One News Radio today at 360-426-1030 and sign up to be part of the Mariners broadcast team.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, here we go. We're diving on deep into a great conversation for Port of Call today, Wednesday at 8:45. I'm Jeff Slakey and Carol Gardner. We are happy to have in studio with us for Port of Call, Port Commissioner Dick Taylor and Deputy Director, Executive Director Wendy Smith. Morning to you both.
Good morning. Hey, look at this weather this morning.
Are you kidding me? It's so nice.
What are we going to do with it?
We're going to bottle it.
We're going to bottle it and sell it.
Sell it.
There we go.
Well, you got a couple more days of.
Is that all?
Well, I don't really want to,
Carol's
put a
already,
dimmer on it.
She's
but
already saying it's going to be raining.
No,
miserable.
I did not say that.
Because I went through
I'm
the
just
whole.
saying we should enjoy it right now while we got it.
Okay, I went through the whole drill of taking the top off.
Oh,
well,
you did?
can keep it up for a few more days.
All right.
The weekend?
Probably.
Probably. You're guaranteeing that for me.
I do not guarantee anything about the weather.
It's always changing, always changing. Well, good morning, gang. And we got some good issues to talk about. First, let's go back to last week, Wendy, and you were part of that EDC Aquaculture Roundtable. Is that right?
I was, yes.
So what were your impressions? What did you feel
It
from
was
that?
great. Actually, I attended based on the fact that aquaculture is near and dear to the port's heart. Obviously, we've got 10 Flupsies currently at our marina that all do the aquaculture seeds from about 2 millimeters to 9 millimeters, and they're just going great guns. And we have a waiting list of people that want more boathouses, and we're kind of right now holding to that number 10. So, but the roundtable was. It was great, very well attended. EDC did a great job. And I think it was well represented with community members as well as tons of shellfish companies.
Mm-hmm.
There was a gentleman there, and I can't remember his company. It was Gold Coast, I believe, Oyster. And he was saying that there was tons more that didn't know about it that wanted to be involved. So they're even talking about doing another roundtable. So
yeah, we had Lynn on Monday to talk about it a little bit. On these Flupsies, this is kind of the beginning part of the whole shellfish deal.
Not kind of.
It is, right?
It is, yeah.
So if there's 10 of these Flupsies in each one of them, how many shell? Do you guys know that?
how many number of oysters?
Like little tiny, yeah.
I want to say in the tens of thousands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I could be
Yeah, you're low.
significantly low.
I think you're low, yeah.
I think
it's
a bucket
gazillions.
is millions probably.
Yeah, it's
so
gazillions.
yeah.
I mean, it's mind-boggling.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
But it's where they all start from. They come from the sea to the Flupsy, and that's where the actual critter gets grown to start with, and then goes out and is planted in the seed beds.
So if people are
oyster beds
clamoring to get on this, is
no,
there
it's oysters, not clams.
people are oystering to get on this? Is there some talks about maybe trying to figure out a way to increase that number of 10 to something higher?
Well, we have talked about it over the years, and we're limited to that right now by mutual agreement with the city. Now, we're talking about putting in our new pier, a new dock, which will be commercial, and then we'll look at increasing the Flupsy population down there. You got to remember, the marina is a recreational marina.
Right.
That's what it's for. And the Flupsies are just a small portion of it, and the main focus right now is toward the recreational portion of it. But we have had discussions, and we do want to go forward with the commercial dock, and we'll add some more.
So right now, are the Flupsies sort of off on their own section? Or are they sort of intermixed?
No, they're intermixed. They're in with everybody else.
Depended on which boathouse they bought and where they ended up. Now this is kind of the year of the upgrading and that, so things could shift around. But that's, I think, the overall hope for the future is that we do get to build some sort of commercial dock, and then we end up putting all the commercial out there.
And we'll have a different rate structure for commercial operations. And what have you. So.
That's great. That's great that you got to be a part of that then.
Yeah, it was great.
And I think, Lynn said that they're going to look to have another one based only on aquaculture. This week they're talking tourism. What are some other things that you got on the docket for us?
Well, we've been talking to a company that come out to Johns Prairie that's looking at a 33,600 square foot building.
It's actually two buildings.
But that's the square footage, and it's 5 acres of land, and it will bring 15 jobs.
Wow.
So
that's great.
We will announce it when the lease is signed, but it's
close.
We're getting there.
Is that one of the bigger 2-building structures? I mean, 33,000 square feet. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty good size. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's 22,000 is the main building, and then there's an 11,600 kind of a lean-to that he wants to wall in and make a building.
It'll bring 15 jobs. That's good news.
15, and it sounds like potentially probably 3 more with him, so it would be a total of 18.
That's great.
To start.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a start.
Yeah.
The guy's a well-established business. He's been around a while.
Well, we can't wait to hear that.
You're smiling at us, and I'm like, what is that behind that smile?
Well, we gotta let the guy.
I know we get it. We won't try to talk you out of it on the radio.
Well, that's good.
So that's exciting.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. And we got some other people that are talking about spaces up there at Johns Prairie. And when you go up there and look at Johns Prairie today, and remember what it looked like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. There was, with log stuff all over, and dirt and mungy piles of debris and it's all cleaned up. It looks good.
Yeah.
And there's industry going on up there. There are jobs going. The old Simpson Mill has, been empty for a while, but we've got Hunter Farms is in there now. Or Lynch Creek Farms. Yeah, Lynch Creek Farms is in there now, and there's just some other people that are going to be coming in. So it's starting to really happen up there.
That's
and
great.
I'm really happy for it that we'll be able to do that.
Well, could you tell me the percent of capacity up at Johns Prairie? You still have room to grow?
Oh, we've got room to grow. Yes. Heck, yes. I mean, fair acreage, we've got, we're probably 25%.
Yeah, because we've got that whole 110 plus or minus acres that we logged, that's completely available, and we have the ability to even sell property at Johns Prairie. So if we had a company that came in and wanted to own their own, we could entertain that idea.
That's got to be a nice feature to add into the conversation.
Yeah, it is.
So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are two great stories. Got more for me?
I do.
What?
On Saturday, I spent the morning and actually thank you to Brandon Palmer, and he's our engineering manager, and Ned Wilson, he's our foreman, and they both spent the morning with me at the marina, and we always combine with the Shelton Yacht Club's annual cleanup day, and we invite the fire department down there, and we do our annual boathouse inspection. So we just kind of coordinate the effort and, bring some coffee, donuts, and, greet the people. So we had a great turnout, great weather, which is helpful, but it was fun and it was exciting, and people seem energized and excited, and lots of changes down there you guys have talked about with upgrading, and so it was good. It was a good day, and we had, I think, all but 10 owners show up to have their inspection. Great. So we just have a few to follow up on, and
that's really
it's out of 67-ish boathouses, because it's only the boathouses that have to have the inspection.
Well, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good numbers. So
there's a lot of portion of that marina that has been spruced up over the last year or two. The parking lot for sure. I know I've been parked in there to go do some events at the yacht club. It looks really nice around those parts.
And it's going to get better. The boathouses are due to be finished their upgrades by the end of this calendar year. So when that's done, it'll look considerably better. And then, of course, with the whole waterfront planning that's going on now, that whole area will change, and it will change for the better.
And we're still looking at that's still on plan and everything like that.
That's not been changed at all.
Very nice. I like having this good news. Nice day. Good news day. Port of call. Wendy and Dick, thank you so much for coming in this morning every week.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's 8:53. We'll surface on out of here, and we'll so loud. That auga is so loud. We'll come back and start to wrap things up here on a Wednesday morning. It's 8:54 here at Daybreak.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Are you risking your health by eating expired foods? It's an in-depth look at what those package dates mean from the Old Farmer's Almanac. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report for Wednesday, March 30th, the 90th day of the year. Notable birthdays include Celine Dion, Warren Beatty, and Eric Clapton, and a would-be assassin wounded President Reagan on this day in 1981. Expiration dates on food items can have a variety of meanings. Here's a quick rundown on what they mean. A best if used by date is just a recommendation for getting the highest quality, not a safety rule. But most items are perfectly fine a few days after this date. The sell-by date is used by retailers for inventory purposes. An item past the sell date is by no means expired, and you'll occasionally see a guaranteed fresh-by date. Again, it's just a recommendation for an item's peak quality. Item dates rarely reflect an item's safety or edibility. That's the Old Farmer's Almanac radio report. Learn more at almanac.com.
iFIBER ONE Newsradio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
8:56 here now on a Wednesday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slicky along with Carol Gardner on a beautiful Wednesday. Sunny today throughout the day, 70. Enjoy it if you can tomorrow. We wrap up our National Nutrition Month, Carol. We've had some great guests in over the month on Thursdays at 7:45 talking about nutrition. And tomorrow we're going to flip the script a little bit. We're going to talk about pet nutrition.
Yes.
Mostly focusing on dogs. It'll be from Adopted Pet in Shelton. But also there are other rescue organization, so you can get other animals. If you want to get a kitten, there's kitten rescue, things like that. Fiddle Fest continues. Conversation with Will and Laura Farr tomorrow at 8:15, and we'll have more pairs of tickets to give away to this weekend's Fiddle Fest. That'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll focus on Shelton as well as we get ready to wrap up the month of March. And Friday, April 1st, Bud Blake will be here, Thurston County Commissioner, 7:15, and at 8:15, Brad Miller from Graduation Matters Shelton. He's the board president. He'll be in to update us on some things that are happening with Graduation Matters Shelton. Also, we've got Friday. That's coming up Friday. We'll just leave it at that. 8:57 now, and throughout the rest of the day, you can head over to iFIBER1newsradio.com. Great stories on there, including some on the county commission. A couple of the commissioners want to limit the phone-ins to meeting attendance. And also remember, tomorrow is the deadline to get your tires removed if they are studded.
I was going to say, if they are studded.
You can't just, I mean, you're right. You gotta, if they're studded tires, they have to be off tomorrow.
Have you ever tried to pull out studs from a tire?
No. Why would I?
Because you just couldn't get a new tire, so you had to take the studs out.
Have you done this?
I have, in my past, have had that experience.
So talk to me about, so how do the studs get in? Are they screwed in there?
No, they're just plopped in. I mean, just pounded.
Is it hard?
Hard to get them out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes time to get them out. Definitely.
Wow. So in what situation, where were you?
I was younger, and I had a car that I traveled up to the mountains with, and I just couldn't afford all new tires. So I had to get the studs pulled out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seems like it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but if you don't have enough money, you sort of got to do the work, right?
That's
it's like
true.
your yard.
It's true. And there's not, I mean, if you don't have money, you're not doing a lot of other things at the time.
Exactly.
8:58 here, and that does it for us on this Wednesday morning. Have a great rest of your day with Tom Hartman up next and Dave Ramsey helping you through all your money woes here on iFIBER One News Radio. You can give him a call and ask him some questions yourself. Dave Ramsey Show, noon to 3 weekdays here on iFIBER One News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER